joined by Jace and Quack. So, boys, how are you guys feeling today? An absolutely great game. It was closer than we would have expected. Game number one almost went the way of Big Scythe there, just falling short at the very end, but eventually Asteria pulled through 2-0. Your thoughts, Quack, since you weren't necessarily here for the previous series. I'll start it off with you.
Wasn't really here with the cool backdrop and everything, but I was watching at home and watching behind the production team. It's crazy stuff, and like Jaeger tweeted out, I just got 2 words: Asteria, pause.
There's just something about that pause that just, well, you heard it from Shrey, and she's like, yeah, we just, take a moment to compose ourselves. And my God, do they ever, compose themselves? They just compose themselves. It's like a
Yeah.
masterpiece.
How much composure is enough composure for them? It's like, let's compose the hell out of this.
But it goes to show, they're hyping each other up. They're just, making sure that they're in the right moment, the right zone, and to be taking things step by step. And I think that's one of the really good I say winning formulas for each team here, to take things round by round and to go through things to team by match by match. But let's move on and talk a little bit about the upcoming game that we have on our hands. It's another best of 3 that we have for you today, still in the lower brackets in which we find ourselves. The first one just concluded, and the next one is going to be none other than TC Arise versus, of course, Aricat Aresta. This one is, I think, potentially going to be much closer as well. Quack, I want to get your initial impressions on this matchup.
Well, I mean, it's we've already kind of figured out who the sort of top 4 teams are. I mean, no disrespect, but TC Arise and Aricat Aresta, they have shown that they up against these top 4 teams, they can actually take a couple rounds away, maybe even push them towards like the 20th, 25th round of the game or so. And that kind of happened yesterday. Aricat Aresta took a map off of Renatus White on Icebox. And similarly, and this is interesting because TC Arise against Alter Ego Celeste, who, I mean, if you're new to FSL, which I don't think you would be, Alter Ego Celeste, they're this crazy team. They've won every single FSL Open, all 6 of them. And you would expect Alter Ego Celeste to get a swift 2-0 victory, but TC Arise actually pushed them, and then they managed to take 9 rounds, off of Alter Ego Celeste on Icebox as well. So I don't know, is Icebox going to be that kind of battlefield that these 2 teams are looking for?
Yeah, maybe, but let's take a little bit of a closer look at the rosters for these individual teams here that we're going to be seeing here today. First up, obviously, going to be Aricat Aresta. They have been, I'd say, a little bit back and forth, a little bit up and down in this entire tournament, finding form and then losing it, then finding it yet again. Hoping that today, once more, they will find it. Jace, you talked about these guys yesterday, and, Yoki stepping up, being an absolutely, massive presence for her team today, hoping that she can be once more here today.
Yeah, that's right. Yoki always has that impact, always does what she needs to do as that IGL and as that support for her teammates as well, making sure that every kill she's on that assist board. But as well as Noxie. Noxie has been putting up a lot of numbers even yesterday and had really big impact in every role that she was playing in. And so I think today, Noxie as well is going to be that factor they need, because at the start of a lot of these games, while everyone else starts getting warmed up, Noxie always starts things off really, really well. So I think that once we start this game, Noxie has to be the one to get that ball rolling, so that her teammates can start catching up. Otherwise, TC Arise, I think they can start running away with it, because they are a very momentum-based team.
Well, TC Arise, we're going to show you guys their lineup right now. Just a couple of changes. A lot of play from Japeeps. Just the freshest player on their squad, and recently coming off of a roster change, has been played a lot, and that's not something you do a lot before, especially a big tournament like Elite. But she has been shown to be quite effective. I think there's a lot of kinks that they have to still iron out, but definitely a lot of great ideas in here, Quack.
direction to inform her about which positions she needs to push, which angles she needs to look out for. She's actually just walking in very quickly, able to find, you know, 1 or 2 opening picks, and then just like that, they manage to take the site. And off of that, once they get the spike planted, they look so much more comfortable. Of course, Icebox, you got Vipers, you got your Snake Bites, those post-plant lineups. It's very effective for TC Arise.
Well, TC Arise looking to rise up to the challenge this time, and hopefully they can. But let's hear from them directly, because we got a chance to speak to them right before this tournament. We've got a video for you guys, and we're going to roll it for you right about now.
Hello, my name is Yogi and I'm from Aricat Aresta. My position in team is co-IGL and I have recently switched from initiator to duelist main. We are supported by the organization Aricat in Thailand and all of our players are from Thailand. ค่ะก็เริ่มเล่น CSGO ตั้งแต่ปี 2017 ค่ะแล้วก็ได้เป็นตัวแทนประเทศไทยไปแข่งที่มาเลเซียรายการ WSSG ปี 2018 นะคะแล้วก็ได้เป็นแชมเปี้ยนรายการ Legion of Valkyrie ค่ะปี 2019 แล้วก็หลังจากนั้นก็ย้ายมาแข่งเกม Valorant นะคะตั้งแต่ FSL ได้เริ่มมีการจัดทัวร์เลยค่ะ I got invited to join Aricat. Aricat was the best team in Thailand at that time. After KitKat had to leave the team due to a health issue, we started to look for a new member and eventually found Aresta. We were happy because she is a kind and amusing person. Firstly, I was IGL in team, but my teammate wanted me to play with full performance. So we decided to not have me in IGL. Yeah, we just make decision together in the plan. I think we feel that competition is quite frequent and it helps us to stay motivated and improve ourselves constantly. We have been practicing hard. Our training schedule about 6 days a week because our players are quite new and have a little competitive experience. The hardest thing in this team is emotional. It's like we have to care more about each other feeling than usual to make the training come out well because the feeling of player are very important. Mad Army and Alter Ego Celeste are the two teams we need to keep an eye on. They have more team experience and team play than us, and their players all have high individual skills. In my opinion, is Jinny Naja. She is a player from VCT Challenger League of Thailand, top tier, and is one of the most well-known players in the country who are both skilled and experienced and highly experienced IGL. I think I want to have a world-class women's team competition like Master Berlin to attract more players and investors to the industry. I hope women will be able to have a career in esports as a pro gamer. ยังไงก็ฝากติดตามทีม Aricat Aresta ด้วยนะคะก็เป็น1จาก2ทีมไทยที่ได้เข้าไปในรอบFSL Elite ค่ะก็ยังไงก็ส่งกำลังใจมาเชียร์กันเยอะๆนะคะแล้วก็เจอกันค่ะ
Welcome back here to VCT Game Changer Southeast Asia Series. This is FSL Elite, and we've got a little bit of a surprise for you guys, a little bit of a giveaway. And no, unfortunately, it is not Jaeger. We can't give him away. Although we wish we could sometimes, just not today. We're giving away some special secret lab chairs, and all you gotta do if you want to be a part of it, pull out your phones right now, whip it out, scan that QR code, and this is the code of the day, VCTGCFSL. That's all you gotta do, and obviously use this QR code. get a chance to win yourself a secret lab chair, I promise you, it is super duper comfy. I know you guys are right beside me. You're rocking those secret lab chairs too, and I just want to say, we rolling. We
We
rolling.
rocking and rolling.
We're rocking.
We're rocking and rolling. Yeah, we are.
Maybe not the coolest thing I've ever said, but yeah, it is. It's up there. So let's go ahead and recenter zone back into the game that we have at hand. We just got a special word, obviously, from Yoki, who we did get to chat. She very much an experienced player, not just in Valorant, obviously coming from different titles, much like many of the players from Thailand are. They hail from different esports titles, much like CS, and that experience obviously translating to a lot of success here in the region. Just not. Maybe just not as much as their counterparts from Indonesia, from Alter Ego Celeste. Maybe not yet. So let's go ahead and break it down. Talking about the game itself right now, let's talk about the maps here. Okay, so map picks, Quack. What are you thinking on this one? I know that a lot of these teams, they're definitely eyeing, playing on the big maps like Icebox and Breeze. Yeah, exactly. What the hell?
Ooh, Fracture!
Yeah, if we go to map 3, we're getting our first Fracture,
Please.
which would be amazing. And I think between these two teams, because, alright, think about this. Aricat, they've picked Icebox. We saw TC Rise yesterday on Icebox. They were superb. They were doing a great job. And a 9-13 scoreline, really not a bad scoreline at all. Going on to Breeze as well, another big map, a lot of chaos, a lot of angles you have to check and take care of. You're going to see a lot of Viper today, I'm pretty sure. And, well, Fracture, it's all up in the air, isn't it? Because we've not seen these teams on Fracture. We've not seen them compete on Fracture. It is a big map, but the way you play it is different from every other map, because every map needs to be defended from every which angle.
It feels like it's a big compact map. Like, you know what? It's massive, but it's at the same time small. It feels like I'm kind of stepping into like a TARDIS in like Doctor Who. It's just like it's bigger on the inside. Is what I'm trying to say here, especially this side. So just like my cold dead heart. Now, Quack. We are going into the game, hoping to go into game 3. I don't know if we're going to get to Fracture, and obviously we're all waiting with bated breath to see if we can actually get to it. It's going to be one of the first real looks at Fracture that we're going to get to see. But, I'm super excited, and, if we get to Fracture, I know this is a hard question, but what do you think we can expect here going into it if we do get there?
I think if we do get there, it's going to be quite a bit of a brawl. I mean, we kind of discussed this a little bit earlier as talents as well, right? Like, what do we expect from Fracture? And I think Jaeger was the one who said that it's a map that kind of challenges your individual skill, if I'm not wrong. And it's true. It's a big map, but it's split into basically 4 separate sections. And in all of those sections, you got tiny little areas, linear corridors. Sometimes they're a little bit winding back and forth, which is where you get those off angles. It's tough because as a defender, unless you push yourself towards a 4 position, you don't really get that off angle. Other than that, you just need to go for those aim duels. If you aren't crisp or sharp, you might lose out really quickly. And at the same time, it's just so many different areas of the map that you got to look out for that. How are you going to just go for map control over here? I mean, I kind of tried to study this a little bit because this map was played on Spike Nations, and on that game, oh my god, like it seems a bit confusing at times, but what I've noticed is that teams kind of prefer to go for B, just because it seems a little bit more open, perhaps. You gotta approach from tree or B main, and at the same time perhaps arcade, which is the other side of B. Meanwhile, if you try to approach A, it's a site that has 2 floors on which the heaven side of that site, you got this little obstacle that you can just hide behind. You could make game-changing plays from that one spot, and I don't think it's something that you want to go for. Probably head towards B.
I think we're going to keep it diverse here. I think we're going to see a lot of things that we don't really expect, honestly, for Fracture. But one thing that I am absolutely certain about is that you mentioned Fracture being demanding of individual plays, but if you ask me, it's the most demanding of the individual IGLs here. As we take a look at the closer look at the individual players, we're pulling up their head-to-heads right now as well for this current matchup. Alexi versus Noxy. You touched on them earlier here, Jace. Before we discuss the maps any further, I want to get your input on these two players. You know a lot about Noxy. You pointed her out as well, and Alexi, these girls, excuse me, absolute showstoppers in the past couple of days and in the past couple of tournaments.
Yeah, I picked these two individually because they had great games yesterday as well. Alexi, generally the one that does frag out, but yesterday it was Ali, and it was Capricious, and it was Japeeps doing a lot of the killing. But Alexi, just historically up to this point, has been so consistent. Noxy is only the second MVP for their team. Of course, Yoki being number one, but Noxy really gets the show started, really gets the game going, and has always been so incredibly consistent from the very get-go, which is really what you need to start the momentum from building, to start building. And I think that, yeah, with these maps, all these teams, in terms of individual skill, I'd say they're actually pretty much equal. Aim duels and what they do in high-pressure scenarios, I'd say they're equal. What it comes down to, as you said, is how the IGLs think about these maps and how they're supposed to approach them. I think that is what it boils down to.
I absolutely agree with you 100%. It's really going to come down to the battle of the brains here, especially if it comes to Fracture, a map that is so demanding, I think, of IGLs, because there's just so many options that are available to you. Like, all right, I mean, how do you even start conceptualizing a strat on, like, Fracture? Hey, all right, this is what you do. You go towards B as Yoru, and then you teleport, and then you zipline, and then you make a hit with us. So, like, there's just a million different ways that you can approach it, and I'm hoping to see that kind of creativity here later on if we get to map number 3. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and make those predictions. I'll start with you, Jace, and then obviously Quack follow it up. What are your thoughts here? Give me that quick prediction.
I don't think we see Fracture. I think it goes 2-0 to TC Arise.
Ooh, all right. I'm fighting words.
You know what? Jace has got a point. Jace has got a point. Earlier, I was kind of thinking maybe 2-1 Aricat Aresta, just because they seem a little bit more consistent. You know, they did take a map off of Renata's White yesterday, but at the same time, like TC Arise, looking at their stats, looking at how they work together as a team, you got that IGL stuff going on. You know what? 2-0 TC Arise might just make sense.
Well, I gotta go the other way here. I do feel like it's gonna be the other way around. I feel like these two teams are just way too close to each other to even make that argument, and I think we're gonna get a game 3, and I think we're gonna get to Fracture, and it's gonna be we're all kind of low-key praying for it, but you know who I bet is more excited to hear about it? The caster. So I'm gonna let them take over and tell us all about what we got here in this second best of 3, and the second best of 3 in the lower bracket. So casters, take it away.
All right, I mean, you guys aren't predicting 2-1s. Like, I want to see Fracture. 2-0 means no Fracture.
Well, yeah, we do want to see that Fracture, but I mean, just looking at the map picks, oh my god, I'm not so sure how this is gonna go. You got Icebox and then Breeze. These are all the new maps.
Yeah, exactly. It's Icebox, Breeze, Fracture is literally the new maps in order, which means, I mean, for the sake of the audience, right? The way it works is the teams both ban one map each, and then they pick one map each, and then both teams ban one map each again. The last remaining map. This time,
they left Fracture on purpose.
Yeah.
They want that Fracture.
It seems like yeah, I'm not letting you have your map. I'd rather take my chances on Fracture.
Yeah, I mean, when we did our homework as casters, you know, that's what we do. We did kind of figure out that, like, we do, excuse me, we did kind of, like, ask around, and we found out that TC Arise, they're kind of that team that wants to stay ahead of the curve, sort of. I mean, when Breeze first came out, they were excited for it. They practiced it a little bit. But they don't really have the best win rate on that map. I think out of all the maps that they've played, they've only played Breeze, like, what, maybe once? And they actually lost that one. So this time, I don't know how they're going to fare, but if they are excited for Fracture, if they were excited for Breeze, and now that they've qualified, they've had all this time to prepare, I think they should have something in store for us.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a mirror matchup. He saw Aegis like was pretty quick, but I think we're seeing pretty much a mirror there on Icebox. Sage, Sova, Jet, Reyna, and I believe did I miss the last one? Viper, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, of course, I mean Viper. Why would I miss that? Right? I mean, Viper. Yeah, I mean that's definitely how Icebox works out to be like. And between these two teams, I really feel that TC Rise has something special. I mean, they are the second biggest unknown, I think. The other one being Mad Army. They're unknown in terms of how high they place.
Oh.
On the other hand, I would say TC Rise would be your best bet to be the dark horse of the tournament, and I feel like they can show us something here. Yesterday, they gave Alter Ego Celeste a run for their money.
Exactly,
Right.
and then that's kind of what I've been thinking about the whole day. You know, just the fact that they were able to take 9 rounds on Icebox. This is the 3rd time I've said that, and it's really such an incredible thing because you don't expect Alter Ego Celeste to kind of struggle a little bit, and that's kind of what TC Rise made it look like. They were able to push them that far. So coming into this one, I mean, you got Aricat Aresta. They also played Icebox yesterday. They won against Renatus White 13-5. You know, it's just going to be an all-out clash. I think I'm looking for consistency of mechanics, of frags, and at the same time, it's just the IGLs that we're looking for. But for now, of course, we have TC Arise starting on the attacking side, meanwhile, Aricat Aresta on the defender side. We already have TC Arise pushing past mid below tunnels, and maybe even in towards kitchen. Capricious looking for a couple of frags here, but so far, no information gathered.
Spike planted.
Yeah. This 5v5 retakes, of course, are very dangerous for the defenders because you don't know where the attackers are camping. And if they can't find these kills, they're gonna have some trouble here. They haven't even found. Oh, they finally find Capricious. Pips gets taken down as well. Rosie with a quick shots from that classic. The DP is actually already happening, and the rest of the attackers are far away. It looks like Ali is gonna be the only one left remaining, and it looks like she's not gonna be able to find anything else. Aricat Aresta with a decisive 5v5 retake.
My God, that looked messy. You had the push coming in. The plant was good, but what happened after that? You were just looking for those frags the whole time. Capricious, she managed to create space. She was looking over kitchen. She probably heard the footsteps and she was looking for the heads, but it just didn't come out for her. And at the same time, Aricat Aresta, they managed to push up front. They managed to find the 2 frags, and I think Rosie was the one who was really lighting up the kill feed in that situation. This time around, probably different strategy. I don't think mid is where TC Rise wants to hit towards anymore, especially with the fact that they only have the upgraded pistols. A couple of ghosts, well, no, not even a couple. They just got 1 ghost, 1 frenzy, 1 sheriff. The rest are on classics.
Yeah, this Sheriff has to put in the work if they want to have any hopes of winning this round. Right now, it looks like that's not going to happen. The Capricious is going to get taken down by that Spectre, immediately opening up the B site. So they're not going to be able to get this spike down because they're already defending the site so well.
Yeah, I mean, that is how Aricat Aresta plays, especially with the fact that they have the weaponry. Unfortunately, though, Alyssa is going to push up front, getting a little bit greedy. I think she got punished with a classic, so now the Flawless has been taken away. It's all up to Japips, but Noxie will still be the one to finish her off. So, clean start for Aricat Aresta.
It's going to be pretty good for them, right? I mean, they still saved 4 guns coming into this next round. I think one of the things that we've seen in the previous matchup was that on the second rounds, they typically lose quite a few members. And losing those members in the second round means that your bonus round isn't that big of a bonus because some of them need to rebuy maybe pistols, maybe some of them would want to go for Spectres, but that just means you don't save that much. Only losing 1 member, they could have lost none. Like you mentioned, it was a bit of an overzealous push there. They could have lost none, but I think that losing 1 is still fine.
Still fine, and that's why they still have their second round weapons for now. But the main thing that they've got to look out for is the fact that TC Arise has the full buys this time. So trying as hard as possible to stall. They're putting up all these bits of utility, the Sage Wall, the slow orbs, but the one thing that they forgot to account for is the zip line, and Japips is looking to exploit that. Goes up on top of the boxes, but Yoki is still right underneath here. She's looking for Japips, but she's already fallen off, and right now Alexi's here to take her place. They go in for the double peaks, and with that, the frags coming into the round. Spike pickup, is it going to get the plan? Yes, they do, so extra credits for TC Arise.
I approve of this. I approve. You know, teams can tend to get carried away sometimes. Like when you win a round, the person who has the spike needs to have the presence of mind to
Yes.
still plant it,
If
right?
you ever play with Marquis and you win the round, you have the spike, but you don't plant it, you're like you're tactical crouching or whatever, he's going to scold you. He's going to yell. We
Hey,
can get extra
300
credits.
creds.
Why aren't you planting the spike? But they did. They did.
Yeah, this is where TCRIs need to stand their ground, though. There's going to be an operator on Noxy. That's going to be really scary, but she
Ooh.
misses the shot. Great movement there on the side of TCRIs, being able to basically weaken this operator. Every time you push an operator off their first spot, right, they actually get weaker. It's not as effective anymore. They're trying to get into the site already, using the dash, using the leer as well, and they've already taken control over the site.
My God, Capricious, she's looking ferocious, but this time it's going to be Yoki that takes her down. So along with this, she still has one more Leer, one more Dismiss or Absorb to play with, and she could just push them off site, and that's exactly what is happening right now. TCRI sensing the danger. They're going to fall back for just a second, maybe play at long range rather than up close and personal. Maybe with the Phantoms, they might be able to find something. They actually managed to take down the operator, but all of these trades happening on the board right now, it's just trade frags on top of trade frags. But the spike has been planted, and Alyssa with the wall will be able to stick the defuse and get the finishing frag. Aricat and Aresta have come here to play.
Yeah, that cheeky wall, though. Like, I think they might have had a chance where they could shoot it, but look at these. The trades coming in left and right. Everyone gets traded here. It's just like red, green, red, green. It feels like Squid Game, kind of like red light, green light. And then all of a sudden, Alyssa gets the defuse and even gets the kill to boot.
My gosh. And that's just magical. I mean, she's reading the situation, right? You see your teammates going for the trade frags, you use that chaos. You plant the wall down, you get the defuse going, and by the end of all those trades, the attacking team is just like, wait, what's going on? They're actually sticking the defuse. And right now, Yoki's doing the same thing she's been doing so far, just holding these long angles. She's actually able to take a couple of frags, and that's why with the opening picks, right now, TCRIs are incredibly weakened. Still, though, you cannot doubt them because Alexi, she's able to find frags as well. Now coming down to this, they managed to take Rudy's away as well. Yoki trying to stay alive for as long as possible. She's gotten the spike down, but has to retreat to safety for the time being. Alexi is looking out for her. I don't know if Yoki expects Ali to be looking her from the back towards mid, but it's not even necessary right now. Alexi, incredibly consistent.
Seems like it didn't count as a thrifty round, but it looked like a pretty thrifty round to me. They had pistols, they had Spectres, and they even get to upgrade to a rifles bag. I think TCRIs, that was a surprise round from them. I did not expect them to take that round.
Might wanna call that a Yahoo thrifty, but yeah, incredibly strong performance from TCRIs. They're able to recover, and I think that's partially due to the fact that their IGL or whatever it is, they're actually putting themselves in positions where they will be able to find these trades. They're playing off of each other's content, and that's something that you need to do when you're attacking. It's not just all about these aim tools, but now that they have the better weaponry and Aricat Aresta are on an eco, they're gonna be able to outfrag them just in terms of sheer firepower, and that's what they're doing right now. But as soon as I say that, it gets turned around. Yoki hiding right around yellow, able to take one player out. Noxy, not to mention, pushing up from behind with the Blade Storm. This could be deadly. She updrafts and tailwinds away, almost getting spotted or caught out, but right now that they've been spotted out, she has retrieved a Vandal as well. So hiding up around green, she's trying to buy time for her team, but unfortunately getting a little bit too greedy. She gets taken out by Capricious, and right now Alexi pushing along with this. They will be able to take the site. All that's left is Yoki, and unfortunately she will not be able to do all that much damage after all.
Yeah, this is exactly a TCRI is that I guess the analyst desk was predicting a 2-0 for. Even in any situation, they find a way to adjust mid-round and really secure the site. I mean, just taking a look at that, they immediately got two members taken out. One with a headshot from, I believe it was the Sheriff, and another with a headshot from the Blade Storm. But they just stood their ground, tried to look for those picks first, trying to see if anyone was a bit overly aggressive. They punished that, and then they planted the spike at the end. They didn't need to rush the plant, and they knew that.
And I think that is the hallmark of a great team. Like, they could have just been a little bit too over-eager. They could have kept on pushing, and that could have been to their detriment. But they stood back, and they were patient. They had eyes in their veins. I think that's what I'm trying to say, of course, is Icebox. But Noxy right now, I mean, this is something that TCRIs has been struggling with. The opening picks have often gone towards Aricat Aresta just because of the angles that Aricat are holding. So I think TC Rise might need to be a little bit more careful. So pumping the brakes for a second, they're falling back off of Maze. What do you think they're trying to do, Marquis?
I think they just want to see if someone pushes it yet again. I mean, when you're down one player, it's always like, can we even things out? You want to take things slow. You don't want to be forcing it because you're playing against a 4v5 right now. And as attackers, you can still choose to go into a site because you will overwhelm whoever's in the site, but they need to find these picks first.
They haven't been able to find them, though. And right now, I think Aricat and Aresta are trying to stall for as long as possible. The Poison Orb being up on mid allows for the Sage player to kind of push up front. Alyssa going underneath too might have just been heard by Alexi, who does get a little bit curious, but thankfully Alyssa switches and looks back to take her down with a headshot. 3 players remaining for this offensive push right now. It's a little bit difficult. Noxie making it all that much more tough. It's going to be Shirazi who tries to put a stop to this, but unfortunately, even with the Viper's Pit, she's not able to secure the frag. So 3-4 right now, and Aricat and Aresta are starting to recover.
Yeah, I think Alexi not finding that frag here, especially, was really why they lost that round, because getting that flag, being able to be in a different position will stop this push from Noxie, will actually discourage this push. But instead, Noxie is able to get the skewer into a double kill and then finally just finish off the last remaining member of TC Arise. I think TC Arise, they're still in pretty good position though. They still have full rifles on all of them.
That's not too bad, but I am a little bit worried because right now there is a Viper's Pit going up on the A site. And you know as well as I do, it's very difficult to just walk in and out of that thing. But thankfully, even with the Viper's Pit up, the Hunter's Fury will be able to take that down. Still though, Capricious going incredibly aggressive. She will get punished by her counterpart Jet Noxie. Wall goes up and they are looking for some semblance of control over the site. And along with that frag, they will be able to get it. Spike goes down right now. It's going to be retakes game 3v4.
Yeah, TC Arise not getting phased by those round losses at all. They just decisively go into the A side, get that time down, immediately position for the post plant. 4v3 right now for them, but the rest comes in. Japibs gets taken down as well. It's now reversed. Now there's the equalizer from Alexi. Shirazi takes one as well, but gets immediately traded 2v2 right now. Alexi, good for the headshot. And Alyssa tries to put another cheeky wall down, but there's an angle for Alexi to shoot her. He's trying to go for the defuse. Recon Bolt coming out. Oh, does she expect this? Oh no, both are actually peeking her. And Alyssa takes one down, but Alexi is going to seal the deal for TC Arise. And this game has been back and forth.
Back and forth indeed. What a dance between these two teams, and it's incredibly close. You see it right before your very eyes. Alexi versus Alyssa. They could have been the ones to clutch it for either ones of their team, but unfortunately this time it was going to be Alexi with 2 players jumping up and down all over the place. Your crosshair will be flying all over your screen, and Alyssa was a little bit confused. Not quite sure where to look for Alexi. I mean, she was kind of anticipating it through the Radianite crates, but the one player pushing from the zipline kind of threw her off, I think, and that was Rudy's. So that's the teamwork that we're seeing from Aricat Aresta. But right now, TC Arise, I think they need to fully commit in towards the site if that's what they want to do. They managed to get the spikes down whenever they do that, and right now, Japib's just going in for that full-on rush in towards the A site. They are looking to take this and make it their home. Capricious right on top of it. She's trying to find an angle. At the same time, Aricat Aresta don't want to give them those angles, so they're trying to hide behind. They only have sheriffs after all, and right now, losing 3 members, they will not be able to do all that much. Rudy's good for 1. She's trying to get the second. Managed to, you know, tag them up a little bit, but unfortunately, with Japibs coming in for fire support, it's going to be TC Arise just overwhelming them completely. This has happened for, I don't know how many rounds now, but they keep on rushing A.
Yeah, I mean, the A rush seems to be quite successful for TC Arise. Missed out a few times, but yes, 13-5. That was on Alexi, I believe.
Yep.
Absolutely insane. These 9 rounds have gone by really quickly, I'd just like to say. Like, it's already 5-4, and they're basically blitzing through the rounds.
Could be different this time around, though. Noxie bringing out the operator. She's looking to lock down these angles. They know that the A rush has been incredibly successful for TC Arise, and that's why they're kind of stacking up over this one spot. At the same time, even if they are positioned over mid, they could hear those footsteps between those thin walls. But the main thing that they got to worry about is there going to be a flank guard? And I think there is. Shirazi as well as Rudy's. They're trying to be the ones to stop any potential flankers. but instead they push out front, so that allows for a trade to happen. Rosie here to back her up as well, and right now Noxie getting the second one. Spike being downed is the biggest possible win that Aricat Aresta can be looking for in this round.
How do you even get the spike in that position? Against an operator, it's out in the open. There's no walls nearby. They don't have smokes right now except for the jet, which is hardly much.
Has to be a mistake. Like, I think they got a little bit too curious. So right now, they want to retrieve it, and they will, along with that Cloudburst, but now you only have 1 Cloudburst remaining, 2 Shock Darts, your Recon Bolt is recharging. How do you push past Maze?
Yeah, they need to get this opening frag, but they don't even check the corner. Alyssa was still waiting there. Alyssa and Ali. That's, maybe they're both Alyssas,
30 seconds
right?
left.
One is a bit shorter. And Rosie with the flank takes down Capricious, and this game definitely is going to just even, right? Like
Even.
We give you 1 round, we take 1 round, we give you 1 round, we take 1 round.
We're
5-5 right now.
We're Ganbus. We're sharing.
Yeah,
We share everything.
We share.
Enemy remaining.
But
Share every single marble.
What we don't share is the frags that we're getting right now. That has to be a big oof. The biggest oof I've seen in FSL lead thus far, because it's an incredible mistake on the side of TC Arise. As soon as they heard flankers coming in, they all went in to try to get those frags. If they just left 1 person watching the flank, meanwhile the remaining 4 pushed up A, it could have been completely different. But you know what? This is what it is. And right now, they still have the bank, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
They are trying to go in for an A split, but there it is. Capricious, she's doing her job getting those entries. Opening pick has been gathered. And off of that, maybe a burst in towards B this time?
Yeah, you mentioned that Capricious was the one to watch, and getting first kills is very important because you put your team at an immediate advantage. However, Noxie's actually with the operator here, takes the leg instead. Ali jumping up in time as she took that leg shot. Noxie trying to reposition here, finds Capricious, takes her down with an operator. This is still really dangerous right now, but Alexi is going to take Rosie XP down, and the spike is going to go down. There's no one actually, there's still nobody on the flank, and there's the res coming out for Capricious as well. Japips takes Noxie down after resing. That's exactly how you should res with a Sage. Protect the person you res, and Shirazi takes Alyssa down as well. Down to Rudy's right now. What can she do? She can take 1 down. She's trying to go for more. Japips just finishes her off, and TC Arise in this game of we give you 1 round, we take 1 round. It's just, they just keep trading rounds here.
Trade rounds, sure. But right now, leading the kill feed, it's got to be Alexi. It's got to be Japips. I want to watch that replay because that is how you want to res. Like you said, Marquis, I mean, Noxie was doing such a damn good job holding these angles with her operator. But off of that one little bait, they actually managed to take Noxie down. And that's how you want to do it. You res your teammate, and then Noxie's like, oh, cool, free kill. But guess what? Japips is just going to drive by, strafe shoot you in the face. And that's incredible stuff. I mean, she already kind of knew where Noxie was positioned, so that's how you want to play this game. Of course, though, Noxie going to buy back her operator, now trying to lock down Green. It's a little bit hairy. I wouldn't stay there if I were her. She's, in fact, repositioning back towards Yellow, and right now, Yoki, sensing danger towards Kitchen, she's trying to lock this down so that the site doesn't get leaked open. But the one thing that's kind of plaguing their minds is the fact that is TC Arise still going to go for this push? Because they're kind of falling back for a little second.
Yeah, and look at Aricat Aresta. They've already collapsed onto that B side. There's already 1 member actually pushed away all the way into A main. And they might just get caught here if they're not careful. Great patience here from Aricat Aresta. They know they don't need to rush. There's the Leer coming out. Yoki gets the opening frag. Noxie re-peeks as well, takes Japips down. And this 1-2 duelist punch at Yellow is proving to be lethal for TC Arise. 3v5 right now for them, but oh, Capricious with a headshot onto Noxie. Where are they finding these kills? Yoki gets a headshot onto Ali though, but gets traded by Shirazi. It's still 2v3. Doable for TC Arise as they try to get onto the site. They still have the Viper's Pit that they might want to commit here. This is the last round after all.
My gosh, I was expecting Aricat Aresta to win this round, but Capricious taking Noxie down was a big win. Unfortunately, she gets taken out this time, and all that's left is Shirazi has to plant the spike. And Alyssa should know where she is, but she's trying to be very cautious about this. They're even using the shock dart and expecting her to walk out of it. Flushed out of position, Alyssa will be able to collect on that kill really easily. And now going for, I guess, celebrations because this is the last round of the first half. They pull off a res.
Yeah.
You know, nice little boost of morale.
I wonder if the Viper's Pit would have made a difference there after planting in the corner. Just using the Viper ultimate there and then maybe getting the timing to sneak out, because here when she gets caught here, she just swings out. I think she maybe wanted to catch the
Eat
timing.
that shock dart, and you still have half health. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I think that may have given her a better chance, because she'll know where the spike is too.
But it's one of those things, you know.
Split-second decisions, right? Sometimes you just choose, okay, maybe I'll swing first.
And I'll be frank, I didn't even realize she had the Viper's Pit up.
She actually was thinking about using it before faking the plant the first time. And then after that, I think she just maybe, you know, you get lost in the moment sometimes. You're just looking for those kills, and instead the round goes back to TCRIs. And this game, 6-6.
Yep, 6-6. Who's going to take this pistol round, though? Because whoever takes it could turn it into an 8-6. And right now, it looks to be, well, no one for sure. Aricat, Aresta have gotten quite a bit of information, but along with that, they spent quite a bit of utility as well. The toxic screen up, the Yap draft being spent. Noxie's just going to use that as an observational post, maybe to take players down as they try to rotate through mid. Meanwhile, the forces, exactly, pushing up on A. It's free. They get the spike down. What happened there?
It's just completely free. I think they kind of like overthought things, because they put the wall down mid. I think they wanted to bolster the mid defense, but everyone is actually moving through A. But it seems like they got Noxie anyway. So for the side of TCRIs, I think getting the opening frag is pretty good. 5v4 right now. They still need to get on this spike though. They have to make sure that they kill the remaining members, because there might be some post plants here. Ali takes one down. Meanwhile, Ali takes a second down as well, trying to look for a third. The defuse actually goes through, and TCRI sneak the defuse away.
This is the second time we've seen that happen, but the only difference is this time it's TCRIs. It's not Aricat Aresta. Earlier it was Alyssa with the wall, and then she got the defuse. This time, it's going to be Japeeps. She did it at the same time.
It's the exact same thing that happened in the pistol round as well, right?
Yes.
Like, they planted, although it was on the other side, it was the same thing, because on Icebox, really just staying on this spike doesn't make sense, right? You have to move away. But when the defenses break down, when you're going for the post plant and can't really get a free angle on it, this just tends to happen so many times. And spray through the smoke. Japips gets one kill onto Noxie. Great kill by her to open this things up. Nope, no guns on Aricat Aresta. This is going to be a more or less complete save.
Difficult, to say the least, but I love the fact that Alyssa has pushed up front, but unfortunately getting spotted out by that recon bolt will be to her detriment. So 3 players remaining now. They only have pistols. They're trying to make use of these close-range duels, but you know what? Shirazi, she's just dancing back and
she almost got it!
Ran out of ammo, but Ali is here to back her up, thankfully.
Yeah, she wanted to stop that defuse. I mean, in the same vein as you getting the spike down at 300 extra creds, you denying that spike plant will deny 300 creds times 5 on the enemy team. So
Times 5.
That's the reason why she wanted to do that. I mean, it didn't pan out, the execution wasn't there, but the idea was definitely to deny that 300 creds.
Yeah, but you know, it's still a big boost in terms of economy, I guess, for TCRIs. Even if they lose this round, they will be able to buy back on the next. And Aricat Aresta have to be worried, because this bonus round, they really need it. They lose this one, they lose all sense of momentum. And we no longer get that little Squid Game tug of war. Now it's going to be TCRIs, because they win this, it's 9-6. Aricat Aresta on another eco. TCRIs are basically doing that little thing with the tug-of-war technique. But right now, no spoilers, right now, they're trying to push in towards B, where TCRIs have already read this situation correctly. I mean, the rotations are coming underway. Toxic Screen might have been spent, but that's okay. They let the spike get planted. Information being gathered by Aricat Aresta as well. They actually could be able to take this round. Not to mention, post-plant positions already set up. You got the snake bites probably going to fall from the sky any second now. And the long-range duels against the Spectres. I believe Aricat Aresta will be able to take this, but look at what Capricious is doing. She's going up aggressive. She gets taken out, and now the trades come in. Noxie trying to do her best to hold her ground. Good for a double. Unfortunately, going back and forth. It's just too many targets, and the one yellow cargo box proving to be a big obstacle. It allows for Aricat Aresta to take this round back from TCRIs.
Yeah, but this is going to be the scary round, right? Round number 4 is when both teams get to buy full rifles. And this is where they can either break away or keep trading rounds yet again. So let's see if TCRIs can break this tie completely.
Oh man, tug of war. Who's gonna pull? Who's gonna tug this time? I can't wait to see, because I'm not sure what's gonna happen. TC Arise has been performing rather well on the defensive side, but so far it's only because it's the opening 3 rounds. Now that we have full buys on both sides, what is gonna happen? Positions-wise, they are looking rather standard. Sage kind of watching mid, no wall up yet, so she's kind of holding on to that thing, but she's already spent her slow orb, so that means no more stalls. And at the same time, the Viper's toxic screen up on B kind of signals to Aricat and Aresta that, hey, A site could be weakened. Let's just go into this. Alexi's going to put a stop to that, though. She takes Noxie out. And now, what are Aricat and Aresta trying to do?
It seems like they are changing their minds after that first kill. I think they expected Noxie to probably get an opening frag, but Alexi with the hard peek just takes her out. And now it seems like they want to go for that B site instead. Let's see if they can actually execute this.
I think Ali hears all of this, and you can see on the minimap right now, she's trying to set up that flank. At the same time, it's going to be up to Shirazi to hold this for as long as possible for Ali's flank to be effective. One thing that I'm thinking about, though, what is Rudy's doing all the way on A? The Viper's Pit has gone up. The Spike is on B as well. Rudy's is so far away from her pack. This could be disastrous or really good. Who knows? Still, though, Ali's flank has not been discovered yet. And right now has been discovered. Yoki finally sees her. She gets taken out. And there it is. The Viper's Pit still being a very big obstacle. Japim's trying to weave in and out of that thing. She's managed to take a couple of players down really low, but unfortunately not able to connect. It's all up to Capricious, and she gets taken out by Alyssa. 8 to 8.
Wait, did they get confused? Did they think Ali was Rudy's? Because there was a second there where Yoki was just looking at, look at this. It's like, wait a minute, that's an enemy.
Oh my god. That's an imposter.
Definitely.
So sus.
You probably saw the outline and they're like, wait a minute.
It's like, oh, shoot her. They managed to take her down though. And I think that was a big thing. But the main difference was still the fact that they had that Viper's Pit up, and it was a big obstacle for TC Arise to deal with, even with the flank coming up, even with the offensive pushes and the defensive holds on the B side itself. Still, though, that's, I think, maybe why they left Rudy's on A, to try to lurk and catch people off on rotates, but because she is a Sova and because she has the rifle, she's able to do something at long range, even with or without lineups. So right now, 8 to 8. It's been a definite constant battle, tug of war. You win 2 rounds, I take 2 back. They called a timeout. What do you think they're talking about, Key?
I think this is where they need that reset, right? Because they're playing on the defensive side, so they kind of need to share information. Maybe that's what could happen in defense. Like you share, like, okay, they have a tendency to actually push ropes for Noxie, for example. They need to be able to punish that. They need to devise a strategy where they can actually turn things around. But I find that the timeout is kind of like mistimed, because right now they're actually going to be going on a full eco. You can't really use any strategy that you formulate in this round. So I think that maybe next round would have been a better time.
Kind of what I was thinking of as well, but they did mention in their well, not post-game, but post-qualifying game interview that they constantly scrim, they constantly practice, they constantly study maps. And that is why they've got some kind of a strategy going on where they stack up on A site. They might have given up B. Can they actually retake this? 5v5, not the best weaponry. Capricious with a shorty as well. I don't know.
Yeah, Noxie with the quick kills. Noxie and Yoki, this 1-2 punch is really a bit too strong. I haven't seen him lose kind of like anything with that. And the Blade Storm whiffs a little bit. Rosie takes Alexi down. And it's all down to Capricious. Is that 1 blade remaining with a shorty?
Oh gosh. Worst possible thing you could have asked for. This is like... I just don't know how you're going to be able to find duels. You have to let them walk into you.
Oh, she gets a headshot.
Ooh, refreshed! And right now, looking for even more hits. She swings out wide. And Yoki will be able to track her head really simply with a burst as well. So 9 to 8 now. TC Arise have saved, so they can buy.
Yeah, they... Again, this is where the timeout would have been great, right? Unless maybe they planned for this round, right? Maybe they planned that, okay, whatever happens, we win, we lose, we're able to buy guns. So this is what we do for defense. Although I don't see anything particularly special about their defensive hold this time around, except for the Shirazi judge.
That's a judge. What is she planning to do with that thing? It would be effective on the A side. It would.
But
she's got the toxic screen up there as well. But
oh, okay, they're committing the pit. And I think that's exactly what they want to do with the judge. I mean, you can save a bit of money, but Noxy with a sick one-tap just takes Alexi down and immediately switches to a knife. They just waltzes into the site, and it looks like Aricat Aresta are just going to take control of it for free. Hunter's Fury getting committed, tags Alyssa a little bit, takes her down, and Yogi gets taken down by Capricious as well.
Okay.
Great play for Ali here. I think that she's going to find another, almost finds Noxy there, who jumps across. Shirazi with the judge, able to upgrade her weapon as well. 4v2 right now, and it looks like Rosie is just going to try to look for picks here from Yellow. They're both playing from towards their own spawn. Doesn't take Capricious down, actually eats a headshot. That's all down to Rudy's. Trying to, was that a shock dart lineup? I think they're probably going to be, oh no, yeah, it's a bit too late.
Yeah, they left the 2 lineup agents on their own. And when you get overwhelmed like that, when you got 4 players from TC Arise converging on your lone position, no way you hold it. Rosie tried to take them down, but unfortunately, you know, lineups or not, she was just not able to hold her ground, and that meant that, you know, even if Rudy's was able to get a couple of kills, Shirazi would have already gotten the defuse. So 9-9, we are back, neck and neck. What's gonna happen next?
I think that it's just really so difficult to predict this game. It's just going from one side to another, and that really goes to show how closely evenly matched these 2 teams are.
Still, though, I think TC Arise are making some questionable reads at times, or maybe it's a bit of a gamble. I think they were expecting Aricat Aresta to push into A on the previous round. That's why we saw that judge in the Viper's Pit. Unfortunately, it didn't go quite as planned. This time they still have the full buy, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And you know what's even better is just Capricious locking down green. So now TC Arise, they managed to hold their ground. It's all up to Shirazi to hold her ground on the B side. She's good for 1. She's done her job. She's managed to take 2 players off of the roster, and that means only 3 targets remaining. TC Arise can go in for this retake fully healthy.
Yeah, and kind of a delayed plant spike there. They can't even get any res out. Rudy takes one, but the rest of TC Arise are going to finish them off. The rest goes on to Alexi as well, and they finally string 2 rounds together on the side of TC Arise. So they're on the lead again, and they actually save 4 rifles going to the next round. So it's starting to look good for them. This time, I guess the timeout really helped.
Pretty good, I would say. I mean, the timeout helped in terms of, you know, maybe a bit of strategic planning, but mostly I think the fact that they managed to catch that breather allowed them to nail their shots exceptionally accurately towards places like B and A. If you're able to find those opening picks, you discourage Aricat Aresta from pushing, and then they'll try to make some kind of a rotate. They start to hesitate themselves a little bit, and that really hurts them. At the same time, they gave the spike defuse to Capricious, who is 6 out of 8 for her Blade Storm.
Yeah, and Blade Storm, they don't really need it right now, but it's going to be really good if they lose 2 rounds in a row, and she can actually use the Blade Storm to maybe get a big play. We've seen some big plays with the Blade Storm today, and while that shock dart is going to hurt a lot, Noxy is down, but she's going to get topped up to 100 because they have a Sage. And it looks like Aricat Aresta have slowed down a bit.
A bit. I think a lot, man. TC Arise, I'm going to be honest, it looks like they're starting to pull out ahead. And I'm more than happy to be proven wrong by Aricat Aresta. With the frags that they're getting right now, it's going to be a quick trade, you know, baiting your entry in that sense. Now they go in, they've managed to open up screens. They could actually get the spike down on A. It's going to be full 3v3 though, so still an all-out brawl, but the res will make it even better. Yoki as well, not to mention, who has a full set of utility. Toxic screen, I mean, no, Viper's Pit is up. This is my house. You do not set foot unless I give you permission.
Exactly, and it's so difficult as a 2v4. I mean, if you have the numbers advantage, the Viper's Pit doesn't really, it makes it more difficult for you, but it won't deter you this much. But because it's a 2v4, they actually want to look for kills first, but they're actually going to try this.
Peeps. Nice positioning, but she was a little bit hurt, I guess. Footsteps, perhaps. Capricious, though, still right above this Viper's Pit. Is able to find a couple of extra frags
she might
at
run to
best.
Rudy's.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm worried about. She should hear the footsteps as well, and she knows that the shock darts lineups would have been coming from that spot. So she manages to get away.
Oh, she gets
her out. Triple. And manages to hold on to her Vandal. Plus the Blade Storm. So, you know, not the worst thing in the world this round. 10-10 though. Still 10-10.
It's still salvaging it a little bit, but these trades, basically, it seemed like TCRIs have lost control over their positions. There were too many gaps that people went in from, like from middle especially. Shirazi dying there was actually because mid was open, and I think maybe there was a lack of communication there. Capricious taking a few more scalps before finishing the round. Good for TCRIs, and they're gonna buy an operator on Alexi.
You know, on the defensive side, that thing is just a beast. So Aricat Aresta, they don't know that they have an operator this time around. They got to be extra careful. Still, though, looking at how they're positioning themselves, it seems like they're being cautious. Maybe a bit of a jiggle peek. They spot Alexi up, but do they know that it's an operator? They jump back.
I think
They're trying to bait out some kind of shot, some kind of utility, some kind of a warning sign that perhaps this is not the place that we should head towards. In fact, seeing maybe 2 players, now they're heading towards A, where a lone Shirazi awaits them with a toxic screen and a poison orb.
Yeah, it seems like there's going to be rotations for TCRIs already. They're funneling into the side. Hunter's Fury getting committed to clear the side, but Ali is there to take Noxy down. But Rudy's lands second shot onto Sarazi. Alexi takes Alyssa down with her operator, though. So it's going to be difficult right now for the attackers to get in. There's still 3 of them. So, oh, actually, TCRIs are going to yield the site, and they want to go for this 4v3 retake.
Still, though, 4v3 retake, and you know what that means. Not to mention they still have that operator. It just means that TCRIs are going to be coming in on this hard. And Aricat Aresta, they cannot overstay their welcome. You got Yoki, who's activated her Empress, and she needs to find frags in order to make this work. She does get the first one, though, and now trying to find the next, she will be able to get it. Along with that, Rudy's a nice little bit of fire support as well. They managed to clean things up and pull themselves ahead in towards 11 and 10.
I don't think a team has led by more than 2 rounds this whole match. But it looks like Aricat Aresta finally are going to break that.
Possibly. I mean, the way that this round worked, they kind of got the early bits of information. They rotated. They used the Hunter's Fury to block off screens and at the same time pushing players up on top of pipes to find height vantage points and maybe even a couple of frags or 2. It worked out beautifully, and they managed to take the A side. Once they get the spike down, they seem a lot more comfortable. If they don't get that, though, that's the one thing that I'm worried about. They start to doubt themselves, so they cannot risk doing anything like that. And in fact, right now, off of a win, they're calling a timeout. Interestingly enough, and it could actually work out beautifully for them.
I think that it's actually okay because they won the last 2 rounds in a row. Maybe they need to slow down a little bit. You just don't want to get carried away. And since it's so close here, you can't give TCRIs a win anymore because the moment they take a win, reset for you.
Exactly.
I mean, they still have the economy, but still, being reset doesn't feel good.
Need a drop.
Not good at all. Economy on both sides. Still fairly decent, but slightly weaker on the TCRI's side of things. If Aricat Aresta wins this, and, you know, given the facts that we're seeing on screen right now, they most likely will, and they will push themselves into match point, where it's going to be a lot tougher for TCRIs to come back from. Of course, only 2 wins is what they need, but still, you know, with all the momentum that's been garnered right now, Aricat Aresta are in a prime position to stop this and vault themselves in towards the next map. They're trying to do that, but they still have to deal with Shirazi. She's got that Viper's Pit. She's got the Judge. A side is locked down. What options does Aricat Aresta have?
I have the answer to this. B side.
B side.
Yeah, it seems like B side is open.
They're going for it. We saw this a couple rounds back. Rudy's on A to try to catch Sarazi or something. Meanwhile, they are just staying around mid because that's the best possible spot for them to rotate back and forth with. In fact, seeing where Shirazi is, they actually kind of want to commit towards A. It's a bit of a gamble. But if it works out, this is beautiful because they managed to take down 2 players. They've taken Alexi, who kind of fell from, I guess, Nest. And right now, it's all up to 3 players. They sense danger from Raptor, so they're a little bit scared, trying to hide back and forth. But they still got to deal with Shirazi. The gamble is not paying out for them. Noxy, though, going in for this, unfortunately will not be able to capitalize off of this. And now Rudy's falls. 1v2. What's going to happen, Key?
I don't know if she can actually peek behind this curtain of smoke because there's 2 players there right now. She has to try to plant the spike here, and then 2 people will just peek out of the pit.
Okay, there they go. They're starting to peek out. They're peeking out on both the left and right side. That's the worst thing in the world for Noxie. But if she can isolate the duels, she gets into 1v1. Now all she needs is Shirazi's head. Shirazi picked up a Phantom as well, though. But she has the Tailwind, doesn't even need it, spots her out, and there it is. Maybe not exactly a Nano Leaf clutch or ace, but still, they pull themselves in towards match point.
Yeah, given the context, that win is actually really important because you really want to get on match point here. You don't want to go for another equalizer because it puts the game too dangerously into overtime territory. And being 12-10, they're in prime position to take map number 1.
Might have been better for TC Arise to go in for the double peaks, but geez Louise, she just managed to take them down in those one-on-ones. So 12-10 we go, and TC Arise right now, off of a Spectre, a Bulldog, 3 rifles. Man, how do they work with this?
Just click heads, I guess. I mean, that's definitely what they're aiming for. But I think in terms of execution, they've been doing really well on the side of Aricat Aresta. For the side of TC Arise, I think maybe they need to not yield their positions too quickly. It seems like there's too many holes in their defense right now that so many times in Aricat Aresta's wins, they just go through mid. They just waltz through.
Still, this time around, though, you've got Japips trying to lock down mid, especially with the fact that she's around tube. With her Spectre, that's the best possible spot she could be in. Someone tries to walk into her easy spray, she gets them down, maybe 2. But, you know, it's already good enough. So mid is not a solution. This time, they sense that they have a lot of space on A, so why not let's try to make something work with this. Still, though, walking past the toxic screen is going to be very, very difficult. Shirazi is in the best possible spot. She gets all the bits of information, takes 3 down, and that makes it a lot easier for the rest of her team. Spike being dropped as well. Rosie's the last one left, and she's hiding around Maze. They know where she is. Capricious is calling out to her team that she hasn't left her spot yet. You guys can push up front. Now she sees her, instantly tailwinds away, trying to buy out as much time as possible. Rosie needs to find all of these remaining frags, but it's just a target-rich environment. Way too many. And 12-11 is what we are at.
Yeah, 12-11, and this neither team has really gone for a 3-round lead. And even up to now, Aricat Aresta, we're about to break that. They can still win it. We're still not in overtime yet. This could potentially be the first overtime we're gonna have in FSL lead. But right now, Aricat Aresta, they don't have the economy. Not a full one, at least.
It's just one of those games, man. It could happen, and both sides having little rough bits in terms of economy, but because TC Arise won the earlier one, they have it better than Aricat Aresta, who have to work with Guardians and Bulldogs and Spectres. Not the best, especially if you're on the attacking side, because if you're met with a lot of resistance, it's going to be difficult for you to find those angles, to find those tactically superior duels. Right now, Capricious holding the angle, able to take one down and then immediately dashing away. With that, your offensive pushes have been weakened. Rez comes in, alright, that's pretty good, but you still need to work off what you've got. Bladestorm comes out right now, but the main thing that they've got to worry about is the fact that TC Arise already know that they are all around this green and yellow cargo box.
Yeah, the Bladestorm not finding anyone yet, so they still have a little bit of time, but they have to decide now because there's only 50 seconds left, and they still have yet to clear either side. 2-1-2 setup right now for the side of TC Arise, but Aricat Aresta, they're playing uncharacteristically scared here.
Oh my gosh. Very, very cautious. I think they're waiting for that toxic screen to maybe let that thought fester in the minds of TC Arise. Let them think that it could be an A hit, and that's why you got 3 players on the A side. But still, Ali's doing such a great job of anchoring down this. She's able to take down one. Got to deal with Noxie, though, who swaps to her Guardian of all things, actually able to take the headshot away, but Alexi makes it a quick trade. Spike has been planted, so that's the best thing that they could have asked for. They're trying to set up those close plants, but I don't think that's good enough, because last time they did this, they weren't able to hold down yellow. Now they're trying to do it. It's going to be up to Rosie and Rudy's. They managed to take down 2 of them, but that leaves us in a one-on-one where Rudy's is 1 HP exactly. She needs that one sweet, crisp tap to put an end to this. And Japips knows that. She's going to stay hidden, trying to get it to halfway. One more shot. Oh, no! Over the top! Not like this!
That was not how I expected it to go. I thought it was going to be a 1 HP, 1-tap clutch, but instead Rudy's does not clear the box, eats her own shock dart there. If she wasn't at 1 HP, it would have been fine, but we're going to overtime off of that blunder.
Off a blunder! Not like this! Spam, not like this, chat. Spam what face? Because what just happened? That's not what you want to do. Oh, this is going to be something that she has to live down for the rest of her life.
I think peeking there would have been the best option. Even not throwing the recon bolt at that point. Just dry peek it. Go for that 1-for-1 ego peek.
It could have worked, actually. I mean, shock dart, you know, that's what it's used for, but it's nerves. It's a big game. It's a $25,000 US dollar prize pool that they're gunning for. I mean, whoever loses this gets 7th or 8th place, and then you only get 1,000 USD at best. So they want more. They want to win. But unfortunately, mistakes were made. So now we are at a 12-12. Of course, right now, Aricat Aresta will be on the defending side, so they're trying to get a read of the situation, but they've given up a lot of space. Toxic Screen trying to block off Yellow allows for TC Rise to, at the very least, set themselves up for this position, where once the Toxic Screen goes down, it's going to be tough for them. So Rosie going to have to delay this for as long as possible with her Snake Bites. One has already been spent, and TC Rise actually just playing this slow and steady.
Yeah, this slow and steady play. They also have the operator on Noxy, so that's actually a bit of a surprise. Oof. No armor there, but Yoki takes Alexi down. This is not looking good for TC Rise right now.
My gosh, Yoki's like, you thought this side was clear? No, you can go back. Woo. Still though, the operator instantly deleted. Japips is able to claim this site. The wall goes up, but it got shot down. Still though, there is quite a bit of space, and now Shirazi trying to go into towards turret mode, watching and hoping that nobody pushes up front so that Japips can get the spike down. But as soon as it goes down, Alyssa pushes up front to take her away. 2v3 now. And Shirazi trying to delay for as long as possible. Still about 30 seconds left on the clock before the spike goes off. Rudy's holding the angle as well. They want to get a favorable duel, but Ali as well as Shirazi are just not giving it to them. Yoki going to set up for the Lear push. And now the wall goes up. They're going to stick it halfway at the very least. One panel has been taken off. Shirazi doesn't quite know this. And just because of that, they managed to stick the defuse and get the remaining frag. So 13-12 we go.
A little bit of redemption there for Rudy's getting that final frag, and I'm not sure why they shot that panel. Actually, that doesn't give you vision of the spike. Noxy with the important kill here. Goes for an ego peek though. Japips has punished her so many times for that ego peek. And Shirazi here with a headshot. This wall, see, it doesn't even see the diffuser at this point. So even though she broke that wall, even though she got that kill, Shirazi had no chance for that round anymore.
Oh my gosh. I mean, was it kind of a mistake? Because you would think that the spike is planted right next to those crates, but unfortunately it was kind of far off to the left. But ooh, big information. Japips wanting to get all of this. She's going in for the double, trying to spray down the third. Swaps to a sidearm, but running out of ammo. She walks back, and that allows for Rosie to push up front to take her down. Toxic Screen goes up, so they use this brief moment of respite to recover and recollect themselves, maybe planning for a push up towards Kitchen. But in all of that, Ali is going for even more information. The Owl drone scouts them out. They hear some footsteps at the same time. It's Alexi holding this off angle. They cannot push in towards A anymore because of that one spot. Their only solution is to keep moving forward or to perhaps go towards Garage. What do you think, Yi?
I'm not sure what their options are right now. They can't even use the Toxic Screen elsewhere anymore because they only use it in mid. But now that they're at a number disadvantage, it's not easy for them to just go into one side and take over it, because this mid wall starts to become almost useless for them.
It looks, it blocks off Tube, it blocks off maybe some bits of Kitchen, but they are in Kitchen.
30 seconds left.
It's not going to help them in any of these duels. At the very least, it allows them to push up front. But even with all that space, how can they actually find favorable duels? I don't think they can, and they don't expect Shirazi to be hiding around Snow Pile. That's a big mistake. So Aricat Aresta capitalizing off of this. Could this be it? Are they going to take the first map? The spike still goes down. Shirazi trying to look around, doesn't realize that Rosie is behind her. Allows for her to get the Viper's Pit up. This is my domain, Ryoki Tenkai. And she's waiting. She's laying out the traps, but no! Alexi already sensing where she could be, just walks up front with a close range Phantom, spraying her down. They take this back. We're in towards another overtime, Key.
Yeah, Japips with the kills here really made it work out for TC Arise. And they're not checking their corners here. A little bit of a whiff for Shirazi there. Eventually takes Alyssa down, though. That's exactly what they needed. And now we're back to overtime number 2.
Yo, they're tied up 22-22. Top fraggers.
Yeah, that's just absolutely insane. This game is just really delivering. It looks
So evenly matched.
hands down the most evenly matched game we've actually had for the past 2 days.
If this is what Icebox is like, I just really have no clue what to expect on Breeze. Regardless, we're going to keep on trudging forward. Just like how Aricat Aresta pushes towards Kitchen. Hopefully watching their backs this time. They are looking to defend the A site where TC Arise are pushing up front. Of course, overtime means that they swap sides. And right now, getting spotted out with all the walls that have been put up, they have to fall back. It's not a good idea if they just keep on pushing into this because of all the rotations that have already been made on Aricat Aresta's side. So maybe just waiting for a second will make Aricat Aresta think twice. But I don't think so. They're holding around mid where they could just reposition back towards screens.
I think they can punish Yoki here. She gets one and gets immediately traded by Lexi. That's the go signal for them going into the site right now. No other defenders actually on A. They rotated out of that site. There's the wall coming up, but they're not going to expect Alexi to be on the other side of this wall. Right now, Capricious still standing on top. Noxy is trying to look for Japips here. Takes Japips down. They actually know where, I think they know where Alexi is. They spotted her gun barrel. No, they actually shot at the wall. They don't know that she's actually still lurking here. She might be able to find some good kills here. Takes one down, uses the Smith. Is actually trapped though. She almost gets taken on but doesn't. Instead, Capricious takes someone down. Noxy takes Alexi down. Alyssa takes Ali down. It's all down to Capricious right now. And it looks like Aricat Aresta are going to be in the lead yet again.
And that is the pattern. They are often the ones reading the situation first. They rotate, they put their pieces on the map really, really effectively. If you push A, doesn't matter. We can rotate really quickly. And because we have players positioned over mid, we will be able to get intel that you are not rotating. And because they know this, they're just going to be able to go in. With the fact that Alexi was in a prime position, unfortunately, they pushed up forward, and that kind of snuffs her out. Even though she repositioned with the dismiss, narrowly dodging and getting away with her life, Shirazi already had that angle. So 14-13, they are in the lead once more. How do TC Arise recover from this? I mean, so far it's been Aricat Aresta putting one piece on the board, and then TC Arise trying to adapt to that. Will we finally see Aricat Aresta putting 2 pieces on the board and then just trying to outsmart them? Or will we see TC Arise kind of pull a smart one?
I think TC Arise don't take this round. I think Aricat Aresta is going to take it all. I just feel like they're a little bit sharper, and I just feel like the round before, the one that TC Arise won and overtime won, was Japips getting an opening double kill. They need more of that. But if they can't find that opening again, TC Arise don't have the defense for Aricat Aresta's execution.
I'm going to have to agree. It looks like it's coming down to this opening pick and how well they're going to be able to control the map. Because so far, it's been TC Arise going in, getting this spike down or some sense of that, but not really quite able to hold it down post-plant. This time, Aricat Aresta on the attacking side. If they can get an opening pick, if they can create so much space that they just get full control over the site with numbers advantage, I just don't see TC Arise coming back. But look at how careful Aricat Aresta are taking this. They want this win, and that is why they're not just fully committing just yet. In fact, hearing the updraft, they know that there are players watching this. The updraft was to allow for Yoki to kind of to bait her into peeking, and where Alexi's holding the off angle, but Yoki knows better. She's getting a little bit curious, though, and dancing back and forth. Owl Drone doesn't spot Alexi. Yoki thinks this is clear. She goes in, finally spots Alexi, but doesn't have the quicker trigger finger. So now, with the opening pick on TC Arise's side, we could see a 14-14 once more. 1 minute left on the clock, and Aricat Aresta want to make the quick switch towards the B site.
Yeah, this does not look good. Yoki, though, great on her for checking that corner, but she just misses that shot, unfortunately. So Alexi was able to take her down, even though it was a blind spot from the drone. It looks like they're going to go for this B plan instead. Ali with the shock dart doesn't actually damage. I think got clipped by the box there. Shirazi tries to shoot some shots through the smoke, does not get anyone at all. Looks like Aricat Aresta have control over this site right now. And it looks like Rudy's is still pretty far away. Does she have lineups from mid?
I think she does. She probably does. Why else would she be positioned around that spot? But still, the push has to be defended. And right now, Alyssa and Rosie are trying to do their best with this. The wall has been up, though. But oh my god, the defuse! They still go for it, man. 14-14.
I think after getting those kills, they probably thought that they killed the diffuser already. At that point in time, they retreated. They didn't realize that there was actually a third person in that smoke finishing the defuse, and we're going to overtime number 3.
OT3, baby. Are we going to see an OT4? I don't know, but these teams are just so evenly matched that this is what we've got at our very hands. 25 kills on Alexi, 24 on Noxy. Not too far off at all. Still, though, it all comes down to the teamwork, I think, because right now we haven't quite seen that full site execute yet. They're trying to make it happen this time around, though. Toxic Scream from TC Arise up over on the B side, and they're pushing in along with this. Capricious, really, really courageous right now, just going in aggressively, trying to create as much space as possible for a team so that they can get the plant down safely. Still, though, a little bit too far up. It allows for Aricat to take a couple of kills, and right now, Elsa pushing up close. She's able to find yet another burst, and then the spray in towards Ali. They managed to take them down along with this, and now again, Aricat Aresta in the lead by 15-14.
It's deja vu. I'm pretty sure I've been here before. The past 2 overtimes have exactly started this way. It seems like for both teams, the defensive side is much stronger. So whichever team probably wins their attacking side is where it's going to be.
Someone needs to run in the 90s. Someone needs to go gas, gas, gas. Points to you if you get that reference, because they need to go in fast. They need to go in with this aggression and just take the win away from them. They're being very, very careful, though. Aricat Aresta, this is what we saw from them from the previous attacking side. They want to be careful. But TC Arise this time being careful as well. They've given them quite a bit of space to work with. They want to push in towards mid. I don't know if it's going to work out, but Aricat Aresta are trying to get information, and they're not getting it yet.
Yeah, no one knows anything at all. In fact, for both teams. And Aricat Aresta, I think that if they can find this kill on mid, oh, the wall comes out. They do have a little bit of information there. Alexi,
I don't know. Do I like that wall?
I'm not sure. It's kind of weird, right? Like it denies you.
Like at the very least, you
A flank.
okay. You know mid is not the safest place to push, but the panel is easily taken off. So you don't get to stall with the wall anymore. And now they've actually pushed past the wall. You got space over by mid. Still, though, it actually did a good job of buying so much time, because now they only have 40 seconds left, and Alexi's trying to put a stop to it, trying to throw a wrench in their plans, but unfortunately she gets taken out. Capricious, though, doing such a great job, just over the top of that one wall, over the top of screens, taking down 2 players. Now it's up to Noxy as well as Rudy to get the spike down. What a flick! The headshot is good! Now she gets, Ali kind of square in the head, but thankfully Ali sidestepped back towards Rafters. Gets information as well. She knows where they are. Just needs to get the duels. Sneaking around the side.
She has to make a sound, though.
Find them. They spot her out, and Noxy gets the flick! With 3 HP remaining, she closes this out 16-14, no OT4.
Yeah, I mean, we had 3. I think that was enough. But what a close match between these 2 teams. I mean, I think that the panel pretty much predicted 2-0s, but at this rate,
no,
I don't think so.
2-1. 2-1 for sure. Who wins it? I don't know. It's so close.
It's really just so close, and both teams played their hearts out. And Aricat Aresta redeemed themselves after that blunder to actually close. I mean, the regular timing, but you know, like they get the win. They get 1-0 over this series, and I think they're going to look pretty good going to the next game.
Yeah, I think a sense that they just managed to figure out, all right, we got a lot of space. Even if they put up the wall, it's okay. We are actually able to kind of out-duel TC Arise at times, and not to mention, just off of the advantage that they have, recognizing the situation, seizing the initiative, and then actually using their advantages, the numbers advantage and everything that they've got to seal the deal. So that is what happens now. What's going to happen on Breeze, we don't know yet, but you're just going to have to stay on this browser, stay on the Valorant channel or the FSL channel, excuse me, or, you know, the Thai or Indonesian streams if you wanted to go check those out, because we're going in towards Breeze up next, and you're going to want to watch this. TC Arise versus Aricat Aresta. And also, huge, quick shout-outs to our sponsors, right? Nanoleaf, Secret Lab, Yahoo, and Intel. We've got giveaways. We got promotions. Use the Nanoleaf command in the chat to find those out. But after this, we're going to go in for an even bigger game. Don't go away.
Aricat Aresta coming up with a victory here up against TC Arise first game, and it went the distance, triple overtime, and it was a matter of who could hold on to the longest. Quack, I know you've got a lot to say about that last one because you're definitely reacting to it. I'll get to you in a second though, because I want to hear Jace's thoughts on this one. It came down to the wire, blow for blow. They were matching each other tit for tat, and it came really just down to who could eke it out, who could survive longer, and it came down to Aricat Aresta. They won every single time on their defensive side, and they eventually took out that victory.
Yeah, I mean, every single time it does come down to those last couple of players, and on the defending side, it's much easier to retake, and we saw the same thing happen on the very last round. It came down to a 2 versus 1 in favor of Aricat, and they took advantage of that numbers game, but also they took advantage of Noxy. Look at Noxy there, 1.4 KD, 278 combats, gone 29 kills. Noxy, I wanted her to be the featured player at the very start there, and it was for a reason. There, Noxy shows us again just how sinister she can be. She was such a huge player on the team and in that game, and I think a lot of the success on that map had to do with Noxy really showing up.
You're absolutely right. Especially, what a way to finish off that last man. How poetic is it that she gets that last flick and the last important kills to seal the deal for her team with 29 frags. An absolute beast on that one, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from her in the next one. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the upcoming matchup that we have now. We're going to be touching a little bit on it here as we take a look at the final stats. Quack! We're going into Breeze very, very soon here, and we don't have a lot to go off of in this matchup because they don't really get to play these a lot. We have very little information. They've played it like once or twice, 3 times, I think, in total for both of these teams here. So it's definitely hard to say. What we can understand, however, is that when it comes to these maps like Icebox and Breeze, both teams seem to be very comfortable. What are your thoughts on this, Quack? I mean, I know it's a tough one to call, but I definitely want to hear what you got to say about it.
I mean, like you said, right? These maps are fairly, I guess, there are some similarities. They're both one of the newer maps in Valorant, and at the same time, they are maps that these teams kind of either avoid or really love. Icebox is one of the more meta maps now, I think. Breeze may be starting to warm up to it a little bit more, but the fact that you're seeing the statistics on the screen, right? You've seen how Aricat Aresta are absolutely just fragging out of their minds. Noxy, not to mention Yoki. It's stuff like that that makes me think that they just might be the ones to take this map. TC Arise, they've got the strats. They've got good calls. They got good reads. But sometimes they seem a little bit shaky. When they make good calls, like, all right, even if we're on defense, we're going to try to create some space and push ourselves up to kind of snuff out or bait Aricat Aresta into peeking us as much as possible. Other times, they start to get a little bit scared. They doubt themselves, and then they fall back, give Aricat Aresta so much space to just abuse. And that's something that you cannot do on Breeze. I mean, you got to work with A main, you got to work with B main. If you don't lock these places out completely, you're going to allow for Aricat Aresta to just walk all over you. And again, it comes back to map selection. True, Icebox was the first. Aricat Aresta took that one. Breeze is the next. Interestingly enough, even though Arise picked Breeze, the way it works with map selection is like you pick the side and then the opposing team, you pick the map, the opposing team picks the side. This time the opposing team picked attack. Usually we have teams pick defense. What's going on with that?
Well, for me, I think a lot of it has to do with when it comes to tournaments like this, it's playing on your own terms. Just getting to be on the attacking side just allows you to, be able to explore your options a little bit better, play those steady defaults, and hit those sites faster, get that momentum when you can. And I think a lot of these teams here, Jace, that we see are very much, and you pointed this out on the earlier panel segment, that teams like TC Arise very much momentum driven. That when they have it, they'll run away with it, but when they don't, it seems to all crumble apart. And I, for one, think that on Breeze, it'll be a little bit more of the same because it is one of those maps where you're like, you can swing really hard back and forth from one side to the other and get like 12-1 and still come back from it.
Yeah, I think especially we saw a great example there in Icebox just of how that defender side as well really worked for both of these teams. And so with Aricat starting on that attacker side, that means that they get to close out the game. On the defender side, decide that they might be able to find easier, and so that is a aspect of it as well that you can think about, because closing out a game, it's always difficult. Closing out a game on the side that you're better at least makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, 100%, man. It just a lot of it goes into the comfort zones of the players and being able to get into those comfort zones. So let's go ahead and talk about what we could potentially see here. I know obviously we're a lot of shots in the dark in this one because we don't really have the biggest sample sizes. I will make a prediction here. I'm going to guess that we might see a Yoru. I'm really hoping for it, all right? Because I know these teams have been exploring that idea that they might pick it up. And previously, I think it's the last time that we actually saw Breeze, it might have been Aricat Aresta or that actually did pick it up, and it really worked out in their favor. So I'm hoping we see it yet again here today. I do think Yoru is very viable whenever it comes out here on Breeze. Although I am
that is a shame. You're absolutely right. Yoru is so useful on Breeze. There's not a lot of cover.
No, wait, there's one more person who has to pick.
Come on, Yoki.
Yoki is not going to go Yoru. Don't even. There's no way.
Reina?
I absolutely refuse to believe it. It's going to be a Sky or a KO or something. That's not going to be a Yoru. You were absolutely right, though. Yoru is a great pick on Breeze. You've got a way to escape sites. There's not a lot of cover, so you've got those flashes to work with, and you can get around them pretty much unscathed and unseen. Such a great agent pick, but just not going to see it. Oh, Yoki, are you going to go for a Reina? We have been seeing Yoki quite a lot on the Initiator, but no. What? Okay. Undecided. Right. Okay, fair enough.
It's Yoru, but one of the things I do want to point out is the Japeeps on the Sage. It's a pick that I'm a little bit apprehensive about here, Quack, because in my personal opinion on Breeze, I think it's very good on, like, the attacking side. I mean, well, I think it's very good, on the defensive side where you can lock them one side, you can wall up, but it's very, very sketchy on the other one. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to let the casters do all the talking because it's their time to shine here on the map itself. So again, it's all up to you. Again, I'm going to be leaving it into Key and Quack's hands, the QQ of the esports scene here in Southeast Asia. All on you guys.
Thank you so much, Elu.
Yeah, I'm excited for Breeze specifically because it's a really open map, and we can see where the gunplay really comes into play. Right, we've seen how sharp these girls are. Noxie, especially with those sick one taps. I think that she's going to shine on Breeze.
She was already shining on Icebox. If she's going to shine on Breeze even further, oh my god, what a day it is. But you know what? Just because I want to see Fracture, I mean, I want to say TC Rise is going to take this. I want to see TC Rise win. I don't know. But again, Elu does bring up a good point. You know, you got Sage versus Cypher. You got Sky versus Reina. How's that going to pan out?
That's actually, it just really depends on the execution, right? Like, I'm also not a big fan of the Sage because the wall doesn't really help you on the ace side, especially on the attacking side. I don't like that. On defense, since you're starting on defense, I think it's a bit more passable. Like, you could put the Sage typically on either side or even through halls, and then basically you just put the wall down to block off an entrance. It's the same reason why sometimes people pick Cypher here. And it looks like it's going to be an A execute for Aricat Aresta. They're starting slow, but it seems like there's some rotations already happening for TC Arise, and Japips is going to take Alyssa down.
This looks good for Arise. I mean, the rotations are so fast. You already have all 5 basically on the A site. So even if Aricat tries to burst into this, which they haven't, by the way, because of the toxic screens, it's going to be tough for them to break through. In fact, they're actually just banking on the fact that the rotations are good, so they will rotate on their own towards B. What they don't know is that Alexi has seen all of this. Could go in and set up for that big, big flank. But of course, it comes down to whether or not Ali holds them down. And in fact, she is doing such a damn good job of it with the recon bolt. She slows them down, and now they are stuck over by B main. They cannot push past this. Rudy's trying to fall back. Doesn't know still that Alexi's behind her. Now she knows. Ooh. Gets the classic click. That's a classic right there. Yeah. But still, picks up the ghost now. Needs remainder headshots, but she's not going to get it. Capricious shuts her down. Arise with the first pistol win.
Sometimes the classic just does that, right? Like, eating a right-click classic to the head doesn't feel good, but winning a round does. And TCRI is getting the pistol around, really important for the defense side.
Oh my gosh. So, already off to a great start. Arise. Their defending side seems solid. You've got the Sage, which, you know, we kind of talked about how Sage on defender side kind of doesn't work out that well in terms of your wall placements, but I think it could do one or two things. Either you prop yourselves up into this vertical position that your opponents don't expect, so crosshair displacement, that kind of thing, or you just wall it off some spot so you don't have to worry about it that much anymore. Similar how you would wall up Tube on Icebox, and that's what they're doing for for Hall, excuse me, whoops. So Hall has been blocked off, and all of a sudden now they peak at the right time. Ali picks up a quick double. You got 3 players remaining. Where are they gonna go?
They don't really have the guns to do anything here, and the Spectres are just too deadly at long range. Against these Classic, they can't do much. Tag a little bit at the legs, and Alexi is going to take Rosie down. She got dangerously low though, 11 HP left.
Secret left flawless, round 2.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect economy for the next upcoming rounds.
Yeah, definitely want to save that and save their backs, of course.
This is a very different TC round. So, you know, Elu as well as Jaeger, we were talking about it. We don't really have statistics on how these maps are playing. That's why it's a big shot in the dark. Aricat Aresta has played this map, I think, twice, out of which they've only won once. Arise has played once across FSL, and they haven't won a single time. But this time, with all the months that they've had to practice, they actually seem a little bit more prepared. And now that they've got this perfect lead, this really could be their map. I mean, I'm hyping this up, but just wait and see. The guiding light is perfect. Catches 2 people square in the face. She picks up an upgraded rifle. Now walks away. Rudy's trying to recollect what just happened. She managed to take Shirazi down, but the damage has been done. Now you've got 3 players left on the attacking side. Numbers advantage is not your friend. How does Aricat Aresta approach from here on out? I really don't know how they can approach. Unless they find more opening picks through like B main or maybe even A cave, no chance at taking a site.
Yeah, I want them to take the fight on A cave, really, because they have the guns for that. And I think that going for these corners on B is actually a losing battle against these Spectres, because they can just shoot you up close. And there's 2 defenders on B right now that's playing up close. There's a flash. He's going to get some information. They're going to confirm that they're playing at mid. So they're still going to 2-2 split until they actually find out where the spike is. It's actually going to A this time.
Okay. But through mid wooden doors, though. And that is where, if you don't look up, if you don't find Japips, you're asking for a lot of trouble. There it is, the first initial spray, and then the second one to collect. Of course, Capricious stealing that away, and then Alexi to clean things up. Almost a flawless, but the trades were great on the side of TC Rise. They take the bonus round key, and that means Aricat Aresta are going off into another eco.
Yeah, off of that flash too, right? That really shows the power of the Sky in Breeze, and I think the Sky is just such a good pick. I'm kind of surprised that Aricat Aresta don't have a Sky here.
Yeah, they went for the Reyna. And I think Sky flashes are a little bit more consistent just because the map is so big. I mean,
yeah.
Your Leer is only effective when when the eye is within your field of view. If it's not, if you look down, if you look elsewhere, you're not blind. Whereas a guiding light, you can kind of push it in towards positions and then pop it, or maybe even throw some kind of a fake, or use it to get info, which is what Alexi is doing right now. So she knows that they are on the other side of cave, and Capricious just goes up for a quick 2-tap. She gets 2 headshots. Alexi pushes up front, gets traded by Alyssa, but Capricious collects it anyway. Rudy's last one left alive, wanting to find revenge for her fallen teammates, but is difficult. Ooh, 4K. Quadra kills.
Yeah, that's 4-0 start for TC Rise. Aricat Aresta need to win this next buy round if they want to not let this game slip away too far from their hands. Capricious with a 7-0-0 scoreline. Amazing play on this Jet.
This is not far at all for TC Arise. They're doing such a damn good job right now. Let's see if they can continue on with this momentum and maybe even go in towards a 6 or 7-0. Right now, Aricat Aresta are going in with this full buy. They want to contest it as much as possible. But like Jaeger or Elu said, Arise are this team that works off of momentum. Now they have it. Are they going to run over Aricat Aresta? Let's see. Aricat Aresta, of course, on the attacking side. trying to get some sense of information, but they don't have it. The only way that they can get it is either with Rudy's or Alyssa or by using their bodies to jiggle peek. Of course, though, with the sense that there isn't a single player on the B side, they're going to collect that alt orb, and right now, pushing in towards A, it's going to be a quick trade. Noxie's still alive, and she is in a good position to take Rudy's down, possibly. Not Rudy, excuse me. It's going to be Ali. But, the shock dart actually catches a player. So that Viper Spit is completely nullified, plus the recon bolt does spot out Rudy's. So even with the spike planted, you're gonna fall. Last player alive is Elisa, who is all the way behind those two little boxes where it's kind of obvious, but with a quick swing, she actually takes this Alexi down. Now with the peek, but unfortunately the quick weapon swap.
That's
That,
a bad habit.
Oh my.
Bad habit for many players, especially, you know, they see other people do it and they kind of emulate it. You typically only want to do that if you want to use it for movement. But switching to your knife right after a kill, it just, I mean, it doesn't matter. The spike was defused already.
True.
So at that point in time, they have lost a round at that anyway. So look at this. The defuse goes up. It's finished. And then she switches. Like, she could have gotten a kill still, but it was over anyway.
It is. It's just a habit, you know. I do it all the time, but whatever it is, like you said, defuse already underway, and now TC Arise are walking away with this. Of course, though, with the round loss bonus, Aricat gets to buy back. They have some ultimates to work with, but at the same time, Ali is going to use hers to gain some info. Doesn't find much, but she will be able to take Alyssa down. But since no one is defending the B site, it allows for Aricat to walk in. And now that the spike is planted, for the first time in a long while, with an equal numbers, I mean, they actually might be able to stop it.
Yeah, Rosie. Spider sense is tingling here, but it's a bit too close to pull out that snake bite. Ali takes her down. It's now down to a 3v4. Let's see if Aricat Aresta can still hold on here, because it's going to be really difficult. There's the guiding light coming out. Recon Bolt is pinging them as well. They know where the rest of them are, but Rudy's is going to take one down before getting traded. Noxie gets taken out as well, but Yoki, last member remaining here, 1v2, but takes a knife to the head, and it looks like TC Arise are going to keep getting these rounds.
Is this real? He pinch me, because this 6-0 right now, are we gonna go into a, like, I don't want to jinx it, it could happen. It could happen. They're doing so well right now, even with a 4v4. I don't know if it's a mistake on Aricat Aresta's part, or if it's just Arise doing such a good job. I mean, the way that they approach the site, just being careful, checking elbow, trying to push in towards B main, making sure that even if they are retaking, they're going to push from as many different angles as possible. And Rosie with a snake bite out over by elbow was kind of a weird situation. Even if she knew that a player was on the other side, you can't really walk around with that thing. So right now, worst scenario for Aricat Aresta, they have an eco, they have to deal with a Viper's Pit. I just don't see them winning this round at all.
Yeah, there's a Hunter Spear getting committed as well. Trying to take Shirazi down, but Rosie is the one that's going to take her down. They bought a little bit of guns here, but there's a Sheriff headshot that you need. 3v3 right now. They're not able to recover the guns though, and Ali was actually playing around that cyber cage. And it looks like Rosie and Rudy, they don't have the guns for this, and the spike is down mid as well.
She was kind of expecting the other player to be over by mid-wooden doors, but, we kind of forgot that you can move around that cyber cage. Still, though, with a quick trade, we're back into a 2-2. But the major problem is the fact that the spike is down. They cannot retrieve it because Capricious is watching this like a hawk. You got Sniper Overwatch looking over you. No way you make it past this. Rudy's trying to put a stop to it. Still will be able to take one player down with a Spectre. Swaps over to the Phantom. If she finds the headshot, which she won't, it would have been good, but this is TC Arise's map. It's their map pick. They are going into this 7-0.
Yeah, and Capricious has only died once.
12.
12-1, exactly.
It's a 12.0 KD.
I am not sure what Aricat Aresta are trying to look for here, but they can't seem to find the answers to get into the sites, because right now it feels like they're just not getting their way. Every time they go into a site, they lose more members than they take out from the side of TC Arise. And it's just, right now, I don't see what they should have called this time out a lot earlier. They still have enough for a bye this round, so I think that they can still kind of go into finally find a plan here. But it really feels like they just they don't have the answers. They tried going in. They tried going through mid. They tried elbow. I think they really haven't tried halls that much. But it feels like they're playing scared. They're not taking the aim duels that they're normally taking. It feels like.
The 2 times that they actually managed to get the spike down, once was on A, on which they used the toxic screen, they found that opening frag, they managed to push in towards the pyramid. The other time was in towards B, where again it came down to the fact that TC Arise only had 1 player anchoring that site. So it's other than that, it's difficult for them to find the duels and the map control. Even then, it feels a bit weird because in the previous round, off of an eco, Rudy's committed her Hunter's Fury to try to cut off rotates towards mid-win doors and maybe even the top of bridge. But it's weird to do that on an eco. So I don't know what they're trying to do right now. They have a full buy, but the only ultimate that they have is Alyssa's Neural Theft, which I don't think can give them that much right now. In towards mid, they're trying to break past Tunnel. But again, you gotta deal with Shirazi. You gotta deal with Capricious. And without these favorable duels, they're just not gonna be able to get it. In fact, it's gonna be Shirazi, who's proving to be the wall of the B site. 1 player remaining, and that's Rosie, who's coming in not even able to do anything at all. 8-0 Marquee. 8-0. This is the dream is alive. The dream is alive.
Which dream? The Fracture dream? The 13-0 dream? They're both alive.
Both. Oh.
It just doesn't look like their map. Aricat Aresta, they don't seem to be ready for this. Like, you saw on Icebox, their attacking side, they at least had some executes. They knew which angles to peek. Here, you can see a little bit of inexperience here. They don't know which angles to clear. They don't seem to be finding success in any side at all.
They don't really have a full-on execute. They seem to try to attempt some kind of mid-round adjustment, but none of those are working out. I mean, they are pushing in towards mid, maybe a player or two, like Noxy in towards Hall right now, some players in towards B main, but the way that Arise are positioning themselves, I mean, look at this. 0 information gathered from Aricat Aresta. Again, unless Rudy's or Alyssa are able to find something with a utility that they have, it's just difficult for Aricat to snuff a single player out of position. They just have to bank on the fact that maybe our execute, maybe the toxic screen will create enough space for us to push in and get the spike down, but this time it seems to be somewhat of a fake. You can see that Rosie's trying to pull a quick one in towards Tunnel. And she will be able to find Allie. Hearing the shots fired, she goes in and gets a quick double. Picks up the Vandal as well. They just might be able to turn this around.
Yeah, this is their best looking around yet. And I say that, but they're actually only even here. There's the Viper's Pit coming out. Rudy's with her champion. Oh no, she's gonna get spotted by those Seekers. They should know. And this is great against the Viper's Pit because Rosie gets taken down by Alexi. The flash blinds her. And it's all down to Rudy's, who only has a Sheriff. She's not even in position for this. They can just defuse this. And she's gonna get taken out anyway. Capricious finishes off Rudy's, and it's a 9-0 right now.
Oh my god, they are unstoppable. Jaeger was right. Jace. This is the TC Arise momentum. They are, you just can't do anything to them right now. They are untouchable. Alexi, I mean, okay, Capricious is leading the scoreboard right now, right? 14 and 2 kills. I mean,
yep.
14 kills, 2 deaths. That's, what, 7.0 KD. But just off of, okay, yes, Rosie got this entry. It was really nice. She got the Vandal. But Alexi was the MVP off that retake. The Seekers did so much. And the way that she was using the Guiding Light to basically flush out the player over by that little corner, it's tremendous work. And it's giving them those wins that they are looking for. This is looking to be very, very clean. Still, though, Aricat Aresta, round lost. They get to buy back. Are they going to be able to deal with Capricious's op?
I'm not sure if they can. Oh, she actually whiffs that shot. But Japips is there to take Yoki down. Rosie gets Capricious as she looks into a leer. Takes another one down as well. Noxy is taking Japips down. It's starting to look good for them. This is the first time they've had a lead coming into a site.
Not bad. And it actually works out because of the utility that they had, the Cyber Cage, the Snake Bite, the Toxic Screen, all of it working in their favor. They have the numbers advantage. What they need is to hold their ground and defend for as much as possible. Alexi trying to make some magical plays through the pyramid. She gets shut down by Noxie, but not before she takes down 2. So this turns us into a 1v2 situation. Shirazi hiding behind that one little crate, trying to find some kind of an angle. She knows it's a 1v2, so she cannot just rush into this blindly. Has a poison orb and a snake bite to work with, so she uses that to block off Cave. Now spots out Noxie, wanting to get her down, but doesn't realize that Alyssa is watching the crossing. So because she was low as well, a simple burst will do the trick, and that gives us Aricat Aresta's first win in this second map.
Yeah, I think that her poison cloud kind of gave her a false sense of security, or she thought she was safe. Didn't need to look to the right, but Alyssa, recognizing that she has that opening to peek from, takes her down. And Aricat Aresta finally get around in the board, but is it too little too late?
You know, it's a very good question, Key, and it might be. You know, you already got 9 rounds. That means the best possible scenario that you can hope for at the end of the first half is a 9-3. 9-3 is still difficult to come back from, but you don't want to give up hope. What I do want to say is that the only reason why that worked was because they coordinated their utility, because it was a full-on site set piece. It was a site execute. They coordinated everything and threw it on towards the A site. This time around, that's not what they're doing. They only have 2 players pushing in towards B, and Noxie dashing in alone is not what you want to have happening. She gets shut down by Shirazi. Now information gets gathered in towards shop. They're so separated across the map. They're spread thinly. I don't know how they're actually going to be able to take down the anchors from Arise.
Yeah, losing one member right away feels bad, right? Like, it seems like that's the story of every single round except their previous one, where they lose opening duels, but they finally take Ali down, so that's going to be an equalizer for them. Yoki gets the heal up as well. They're trying to go into this B side right now, but Shirazi is going to be there waiting for them. Alexi is going to take Rudy's down from mid as well, so they're back at 1 member disadvantage right now. Shirazi takes Alyssa down as well, takes Rosie down too. How can they stop this? Oh, Shirazi gets a quad kill as well, and that's going to be TCRI saying, yeah, we'll give you 1, but 1 is more than enough.
1 is more than enough. We still got the momentum. We still got the hot hands, and Shirazi is just anchoring down this B site like it is nothing. You try to dash into me, I'm going to take you down, Noxie. You guys try to walk into my house, I'm staying hidden in the basement. I'm going to peek out when I need to, and I'm going to chase you out. You're evicted. And that's exactly what they are doing. It's incredibly difficult for Aricat to try anything right now. They were trying to pull off some kind of a default, wait until the timer's down to about a minute, and then maybe Arise starts to get a little bit too inquisitive. They push out, you get punished. But even with an opening pick, you still need to break in towards a site, and the only time that they've done that is through a site-coordinated execute. That's not what they're doing right now. It's kind of a split push, but they forgot that there are players coming in from bridge. And right now, Yoki caught out of position. She's gonna get caught square in the face by Alexi. 2v4, they get the spike down, but they have to hold. Alyssa has been spotted out, now trapped by the slow orb. Easy spray for Japips, who heals herself. Ali pushes in towards Cave. And that is it, dude. Like, first half, you get 11-1. Second half, if you don't win pistol, I just FF.
Yeah, it looked similar to that round on Haven for, I believe it was 13-1 on Haven. It was, do you remember?
13-1 Haven? Oh,
I feel like I should know. It's the exact same scoreline, 1-11. Oh, it was Aricat Aresta as well.
Was it?
Yeah, against Renatus White.
Oh yes, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Against Renatus White, they lost to Renatus White.
They also went 1-11 on Haven, and then in the second half they lost a pistol round and just went 1-13.
And that happened Similarly, well, not yet because they haven't played defense, but that happened because Envious was consistently pushing into A long.
Yes.
That happened yesterday on day 1 of FSL streams. Go check out the VOD if you need to. But right now, we still want to have hope for Aricat Aresta. They need to defend as well as possible. Otherwise, it's going to be game over. And looking at how Arise are playing this offensive push right now, it could be it. They've already gotten Hall control. They're playing around the metal doors. Rudy's cannot peek out. She wants to stop the spike from getting planted, but she can't. Yoki going to make some magic happen from wooden doors, so they're good to get a couple more kills. And now that the headshots are finally collecting, it's going to be all up to Japips, and they know where she is. All they need to do is to not give her the advantage that she's looking for. 1 HP, 1 more bullet. There it is. Rudy's gets it. And then the defuse comes in. They've got the ghosts. They've got the sheriffs. Even better for the next round. Aricat Aresta not out of this yet.
Yeah, that they need the pistol round. You mentioned it, right? Like you're 1-11, you lose the pistol round, you're immediately against match point with no creds, and basically winning this. They look like a different team, to be honest, on defense. Because because you can see their aim, right? Aricat Aresta have great aim. They just didn't know how to execute on the attacking side. I'm not sure why they didn't seem ready at all.
I am not sure either. Maybe that's something that we could ask them if they win this entire series. But for now, you know, you're right, because we saw their post-match statistics. They had all those headshot percentages coming in. So now, even if Yoki is down, she's done her job. She's taken out 1 player. What they don't expect was that Arise came into this with a forced buy. So now that they know this, they need to be extra careful. You've got Noxy trying to watch a cave with a Marshall, but the push is coming in on B. Rosie has to be the one to stop this, but she gets spotted out by the recon. Can she take Shirazi down? No! She gets bitten in the back by a shock dart. The wall has gone up as well, and right now they're trying to stream in the site, but they can't. The spike goes down. And Arise are already watching these angles. Noxy trying to block off at least one of them to push up closer. But they didn't expect Shirazi to be coming out from that corner. She swings out and takes them down with that quick spray. And there it is. Match point. The force buy worked out all too well, Marquis.
Yeah, that's demoralizing, right? I think Yoki pushed here with expectations that they would save and maybe buy for next round. But what TC Arise did, they bought because they can afford to. So they surprised Aricat Aresta because suddenly, they actually have force buy. Yoki probably wanted to mow down some pistols there. Instead, she was greeted by 3 Spectres.
Oh my god. I don't know if that was an oversight on Yoki's part, but they might have just needed to play a little bit safer. And right now, they're trying to watch for these angles and play a sort of a leapfrog style of defense, which isn't working out. They've gotten the info, but they've allowed for Arise to walk in already. With their weaponry, it's going to be tough to connect these shots. Instead, it's better for Arise because they've got the Vandals. Long-range duels favor this weapon so much. The headshots are ringing out and ringing true. Capricious tries to stop this, but it's going to be Rosie who takes her out. So, slight sense of hope for Aricat Aresta. They're trying to play the close-range duels, but they just can't. It's being locked out. It's all up to Rosie. She's good for 1, but that is it. Shirazi closes this out. It's going to be the headshot to do the final trick, and 13-2. Is all that we see for Breeze.
That was a bit of a more one-sided match than I had hoped for. In fact, I thought that Aricat Aresta actually had the long-range prowess to win these duels, but it seemed like every single round they just couldn't find these opening frags.
And that's the one thing that's on my mind. I'm like really dazzled? No, I'm stunned. I'm confused. Why did they choose to pick on? Why did they choose to start on the attacking side?
I'm not too sure either. Maybe this really wasn't the map that they wanted to play in. Yeah, that's the best I could think of. But the last map, we're going into Fracture.
We're going into Fracture. Again, we don't have much to go off of on Fracture, right? So it's just I'm gonna have to try to find something during the break. But you know, for those people watching at home right now, this could be like one of the first, I don't know, Fracture games on a big like Valorant channel or something, right? It's crazy. And
I think it's the first VCT Fracture game. In fact,
VCT Fracture game. I don't know what to expect. It's Aricat Aresta, it's TC Arise. They're picking Fracture. They're playing on patch 3.07, so no Jet, like the weird little
gun pullout
bug.
thing. Yeah.
So they're working fine. It's just the fact that they're playing on these maps that maybe they're not so used to. But, you know, this was an intentional map pick. They left this as the last map on purpose. What could this mean, Key?
I'm not sure.
We don't know. We're just going to have to watch. So that is it for us, from us for now. And we're going to go into a quick break. But before that, huge shout out to our sponsors once more. They help us really, literally, keep our lights on. These Nano Leaf lights look really cool, like when it gets darker, because it's like this nice little ambient, like glowing thing in the background. At the same time, you can sync them up to like music and, I don't know, game sounds or something. It's really cool. But aside from that, Secret Lab, Yahoo, as well as Intel, we've got some giveaways. We've got Nano Leaf promotions. The command is in the chat. Guys, keep an eye out for that. But the main thing that you got to keep an eye out for is Fracture. We're going to go for a quick break, so don't close this tab. We will be back.
Yeah, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and of course, Jace and Quack. We're actually going into Fracture. Like, none of us expected this after such a stomp, after a dominating performance by TC Arise here in that previous game in a 13-2, and we're actually going to end up in Fracture. Before we talk about Fracture, let's go ahead and break down that previous one, 13-2. Jaeger, let me know what you think about it, but if you ask me, the stats, they tell much of the story. 3.7 KD and Shirazi and everybody falling else in line.
Yeah, you got 4 players over 200 combat score each. Shirazi and Capricious making so much space. They just looked so much more confident, didn't they? You could see how they were attacking those sites. They were making sure to cover every single base. They were taking mid control. They were catching off rotations. They were winning these crazy aim duels. You could see Capricious pushing through smokes and just like dinking someone behind boxes and stuff. Like time and time again, you were just seeing them take these crazy fights that, like, you know, if you're thinking normally, you're thinking that's a dumb fight to take. But they're taking dumb fights and they're winning them because they just look so confident. And if you can win dumb, you know, just do it. Just play for it. Take advantage of your current high. They seem to be just in that flow state, right? They all look like they were just hitting their shots. And Aricat, they just did not show up like they did on Icebox.
I think everybody was a little caught off guard by that. I mean, Breeze, we didn't really have a lot of information coming into that. We have even less going into the next map, Fracture. Really, the first time we're seeing it in this entire circuit, and personally, the first time I'm seeing it in my entire year of casting. And I'm just so excited to see it here. The only nerd I think who's done enough homework on this is Quack. So, I mean, what do you got on this? Give me something here because I'm scratching my head.
Like we mentioned before, this map, it's big, but also tiny, kind of. It's huge, but it's split into 4 sections. You've got the one thing in the center, which is the defender spawn, and as we all know, a long zip line connecting the attacking spawn, so you can choose to, attack from either sides, which means attacking sides, you can pull off split pushes really, really effectively, but you really need to play for map control, and that is where I think the defenders have a really, really tough time. 4 separate sections, how can you possibly watch all of it, especially when they are facing 2 opposite ways? It's
right.
Not even like Haven. But strangely enough, well, not strangely, logically, checking out the map statistics on the Spike.gg, this map was played 29 out of 7,604 other maps that have been played, recorded on the Spike. And out of these maps, it's a 53.39% on the attacking side win. And then that means 46.61 for the defender side. So I guess it's an attack sider map, guys.
That's a lot of numbers, and I'm gonna pretend to understand what those mean. No, yeah, I think for now, just because of just how the nature of the map is, the ease of rotation and ease of access on the attacking side might make it seem like it's currently attacking, but obviously this might change as time progresses. We're going to go into agent selection, into the map selection right here. I'm taking a look at what we have on our hands. I still can't believe I'm seeing this. Jace, you and I talked a little bit about this sort of in the break, where if you're a good IGL in this map, you will be rewarded with a lot of good progression, because it's all about knowing that map control. It's all about knowing the map economy, what you can afford to give up, what you want to fight for, what you want to hold. And if you're that good IGL, you can be able to capitalize on what your enemy team might not be able to have.
Yeah, and I mean, with a great IGL on Fracture, it is so difficult to keep track of everything that's happening on this side, because we had Quack earlier saying that you've got to defend these sites from every which angle, but it works both ways. When you're on that defender side, you can take map control from positions they won't be expecting, because you can push any of those 4 angles and find yourself behind the enemy in so many different situations. And trying to track where these players may be as an IGL, that's a huge, huge challenge. So There's gonna be a lot of situations where you're one player perhaps, and you're seeing 4 players, 3 players, 5 players pushing towards one side. Whereas you'll be in other situations where you're one player, but you're behind a whole group, and you can find these free kills and make it thinner for when your teammates actually rotate in. So yeah, I think that's why the numbers are almost 50-50 on those sides, but a little bit more towards the attacker side, just because that numbers game at the very start.
Yeah. Also, yeah, that also, and the fact that anybody could come from anywhere because of the zip line. Like, you also have to keep track of that too, the possibility that someone could swing out from underneath you and just suddenly take you out. But we'll talk a little bit about the agents. I know there isn't really a meta around Fracture right now. I am seeing the Yoru, I'm seeing the Viper. You know, okay, fine. Don't play the fine, don't do it. But like, I really think the Viper here is essential. I've played a lot of Fracture when it came out, and you know, just when we got to play test it. But I really think that Viper is one of those that are so invaluable. There's a lot of crazy setups that you can do aside from the Viper's pit, where you can like have basically an entire portion of the map, which is already very much segmented on its own, all to yourself. And then you also have a Sky to top it all off. Is this going to be a Sky and Breach, a double initiator on a map like Fracture? It's just going to be a lot of map control here for Arise. You know, Quack, tell me about this, because it's all over the place. I have no idea what to make of this.
I am the same as you. I have no idea what to make of this as well. You can see that they're picking a lot of different agents. They're not really sticking to any one meta or of sorts, and I think that's largely because this is a really, really fresh map, so sometimes comfort picks will work out for you. But at the same time, I do want to point out that, like you said, Viper can be really effective just because your Toxic Screen, your Poison Orb, you can block off so much. But the main thing is, I don't think one controller is enough. You need Sentinels or something to back that up as well. So thankfully, we've got Sages, we've got Killjoys.
Yeah, well, enough from us, because right now I want to see the game. I don't know about you guys, because we're ready to go into Fracture, guys. It's going to be game number 3 in this series. Caster, take it away.
All right, we're finally here. I mean, we called it at the beginning that potentially we could see Fracture, because this is going to be the first time on VCT that we'll see Fracture. It is the first pro game, I believe, on Fracture, and it's going to be really exciting to see what teams can bring to the table here, because there's not, I wouldn't say that there's a built meta to it yet, because everyone's still trying to feel things out, trying to figure out what the best way to play this is. I actually thought that running 2 Sentinels is actually good, having a Cypher plus a Killjoy, because it stops your backstabs, it stops any flank, and on the defending side, you could just sacrifice one side and put your utilities there just to figure out where people are coming from. But it seems like Sage, I don't consider Sage that kind of, the same kind of Sentinel as the other two. You don't get as much information. Maybe the wall will, but not enough.
Not really for information, more for defensive capabilities like stalling or just blocking off positions completely. I think it'll work out really nicely, but of course you are starting out on the attacking side, whereby it's going to be a little bit difficult, but they're just going for that full-on rush in towards, from A main, excuse me. They've already managed to get on top of site somehow though, but the spike hasn't come in yet. And yeah, they want to be extra careful about this. Rudy's going to prop the wall up, but at the same time, Alyssa already in towards some position. She pushed in towards Dish. She took down 1 player, and all that's left are 3 more. They are in a very, very good position for this, and now all they need is to wait for them to walk into their crosshairs. So Orion walking in right now. They're going to drop like flies. This could be a flawless as long as Noxie doesn't give it into them. Oh, she did. She did. How dare you, Noxie? But of course, Rudy's is here to trade. So just going in for that quick double peek, they managed to take the round away. It's the first pistol for Aricat Aresta, redeeming themselves from that 13-2 defeat on Breeze.
Yeah, and let's also not forget that TC Arise chose not to ban Fracture.
Yes.
So they were, I think people in chat are asking about who chose this map. It wasn't so much chosen, but rather they chose not to ban Fracture. They chose to ban Ascent instead on TC Arise's side.
Ascent and Fracture were the last 2 maps.
Yeah.
They chose to ban Ascent. So in a way, they still picked Fracture.
Yeah, you could say that.
And they got to pick the side as well. So now they're starting out on defense. But then again, just because you're on defense doesn't mean it's a better side to start on. They are having a little bit of a tough time. Capricious only has a shorty, and she's not even on site. She's coming in from the defender's spawn. whereby it's going to be tough to break into site. Ali was the only one to anchor, and she couldn't do anything with Frenzy. So site control has been granted to Aricat Aresta. You got this toxic screen to work against as well. I just cannot find angles. You peek in, you're walking into the crosshairs of Aricat Aresta's again. And so easy win. Still not as clean as it could be, but of course, 2-0, really clean, not losing that many members. They got a good economy coming into the next round.
Yeah, and only losing one member is not bad. It's decent. They probably picked off. They probably still have some ghosts from the previous round as well. So if Yoki doesn't want to buy here at all, they could just drop her a ghost and she'll still be okay. But I think she's gonna elect to buy armor. Yeah, there we go. She's getting the ghost from her teammates, and I think they're gonna be okay with this. One thing to note though is that Aricat Aresta, they seem to have just rushed both sides. I don't know if this can be sustainable in the long run because their executes have been good. But if the shots don't fall, if TCRIs are going to start to find their mojo, but actually they don't. Alyssa is the one that's going to take Japip's on, but Capricious is there to get the headshot. Gets a second as well onto Alyssa. Capricious on dish. Actually defense against 2, and now she's helping her teammates. Takes Noxy down as well. This is the Capricious throw right now, and Shirazi is going to take Yoki down and finishes off Rudy's as well. A relatively clean round from them. 4 members alive. You want to save as many guns as you can in your first buy round because you won't have cash for the next one.
The 2 top fraggers from the previous map showing up on this round. I mean, that is just how they play. Whether it's Dish, whether it's A site itself, even if you try to push in from A main, you can't really make it past their crosshairs. They're just that sharp. And at the same time, that is the strength of the Viper. Your poison orb, your toxic screen. If it is on the site that you're watching, you will be able to stall and to defend really, really effectively. But that is why I said you kind of need something else to support that one controller, because the controller can only control one site. With the way that this map is laid out, Viper's watching A, who's there to watch B? Your other teammates, maybe the Sky, maybe the Killjoy has to do it. But you know what? Their guns are doing the job right now. They just drop in towards Arcade. They take down 2 players. Of course, Yoki makes it a trade and instantly pushing in towards Tunnel. They are trying to make it on towards the other side. No, I think they sense danger. Maybe zipline? No, they want to head towards A main, just a quick rotation. But then again, because this map is laid out this way, defenders can rotate rather easily as well. Defenders spawn, and the links basically connect the 2 sites.
Yeah, that's really something to note about this map. There's a lot of connections between the sites. There's actually 3. If you look at it from a middle standpoint, there's actually 3 connections to each site.
So it takes like what, maybe 10 seconds for the 2 remaining players on B to walk over, maybe lesser if they just run with their knives out. So it's not that difficult. They might be able to take the site down. Of course, the wall was a little bit awkward. I think Yoki wasn't expecting that, but the Rolling Thunder was good and secured them the kill. What they've got to look out for right now, though, is actually Capricious, and they spotted her head. Good job, Yoki. Triple kill right now, and she needs to look out for 2 more players. And this is that one little corner on Heaven that I was talking about. It's really, really effective. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's not wall bangable.
It is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
So you have to, unless you get information, or unless you check it somehow, Yoki can actually play around that perfectly. In fact, she uses the Aftershock. She's gotten the 4K, and that is the win for Aricat Aresta right now. What happened to that momentum that we saw from TCRIs?
I think after losing that first member, and the Rolling Thunder was really key to taking over that site. Rolling Thunder from Aricat Aresta, from Yoki, actually just cleared the A site. Capricious had to dash out, and they caught someone in the A site as well who was just completely stunned. So I think that Rolling Thunder was really key to winning that round. So for TCRIs, they're gonna need to make something out of this round, or their next round rather, because that's gonna be their buy round. They got reset yet again.
Oh my god. But here we go, right? You talked about the reset, and it's just pushes coming from all over the place. Still though, the defenders can push as well, and that's going to be Alexi, supported by her fellow Breach Japips. So 2v1, they take that player away. Now all they got to worry about is the A site, and of course hearing the footsteps. Ali this time is ready for it. The wall might have gone up, but you're not going to make it past her Sheriff. They sense danger up from drop as well, and that's going to be dangerous. Noxy just dashing in like this. Thankfully, Shirazi, that's her classic right click right there again. But Rosie instantly makes it a trade. Of course, though, rotation's already underway. They are trying to make a push coming in from A link, or at the very least rope. But with this Viper's Pit, it's going to be that much more difficult.
It's a bait.
It's a bait. Yeah, she's walked away and she's trying to get the spike down on B. Oh my god, Marquis, this is smart.
It's smart, but they're actually reading this. I don't think they have the time for this. She actually doubles back to A.
Capricious is calling it out clear, though.
Let's see if Alyssa can actually find Capricious there, who's
left.
still camping inside. So if she gets 1 kill here, I think it's going to be the round for TC Arise.
Oh, you don't have time. At the same time, Japips can and Alexi can just call it out that, hey, I don't hear any footsteps. They're probably going to come
there
back
you
in.
go.
And that's why Capricious was ready for this.
A.
Semper Paratus, always ready.
10
She's
seconds
coming in hot. Spots Alyssa out as well, and a simple Blitzstorm headshot to finish this off with a Yahoo Thrifty.
I did not expect that from TC Arise. I mean, I said they need to take it back in the next round. But this half buy from them, the kills from the Sheriffs and the Bladestorm just secures the round for them. I mean, that feels good, right? Like the momentum is kind of coming back to them. Like they still feel that they can fight even with a smaller buy. And right now, Aricat and Aresta are the ones in the back foot, so they're up 3-2, but they don't have the economy.
You know what? They are the ones that picked this map. Of course, you know, talking about economy, Aricat Aresta doesn't favor them, but their coordinated pushes have been working out really, really nicely on Breeze as well. I mean, those were the 2 times that they actually managed to get the spike down. This time around, they're trying to pull off splits. They're trying to come in separated, not to mention that there is a Viper's Pit up towards B tree. I don't think they should be walking into this unless they do it together as a team. If they overwhelm Shirazi, they just might be able to delete that and then get the spike down on B. Because take a look at your minimap. All the other players from Arise are a ways from B, a ways from tree. So, I don't know, they're trying to set this up right now. Actually, whoa, okay, 3 players in towards tunnel.
Yeah, this is what you can do against the Viper's Pit. Just go behind it. But Alexi is going to take 2 members of Aricat arrested down with headshots, and Shirazi is going to kill the members running into her pit. And it's going to be a Secret Lab flawless round for TC Arise. Okay, so we have a game in our hands. 3-3 right now. I'm not sure which team will break through, but it feels like TC Arise with these guns are starting to find their stride.
With these guns, I mean, that is what they're doing. Look at how cleanly Alexi takes this, not to mention Shirazi as well, who's just being the best possible anchor that TC Arise can ask for. She's doing such a great job as a Viper player right now that I don't think she needs to do anything else, honestly. Poison Orb, Toxic Screen, everything is working out beautifully. Still, though, interestingly enough, Toxic Screen has been deployed across tunnel and in towards the B site. Could this signal that Aricat and Aresta are trying to push past tree?
Could be, but there's actually someone watching the flank here, and if Noxy can catch... Actually, there's 2 members with a crossfire there. They might want to commit the Killjoy lockdown. So there is a lockdown being committed from, I believe that's the arcade side of tunnel.
Lockdown being deployed.
Oh, that's
though.
actually amazing. You put it in the middle of tunnel. They can't shoot it out.
No chance, unless Hunter's Fury or something else. So it creates so much space, allows for Aricat and Aresta to get in and get the spike down. This is big brain. And right now, TC Arise wanting to come back in to retake the B site. It's not going to be that easy after all. You got the fault line that is ready as well. They are trying to push past this though, but when you are up against a player like Noxy, the headshots ring true. It's just going to be that much more difficult. Capricious dashing in, and Yoki hears this as well. She's preparing the Rolling Thunder, and it's not even necessary because the swings come out, and it's a clean win for Aricat Aresta, with the exception that perhaps Rosie fell. But other than that, their pushes and everything, when they have a set and clear plan, it looks so good.
Yeah, definitely. They know how to use their utility. So that's one thing that we really have to give props to them for. Yoki, with her Rolling Thunder, allowed them to win that round. Was it 2v3? 2v4, in fact. Now, Alyssa, with her lockdown, also clearing the B site and setting up that post-plant position for her team, allowed them to win this previous round. So if Yoki can use the Rolling Thunder yet again, but Capricious, with the Operator, immediately shuts down Noxy.
I mean, let's see if she can channel her inner Kenias, because Kenias did play Jet on this map, on the Spike Nations games. Unfortunately, his team didn't really make it out against Italy's team. It was a kind of like a charity tournament, which was really nice to watch, by the way. He dropped a crazy 30 frag. But whatever it is, you still can't really deal with Breach, and that is why he's such an effective agent, because he just deals and counters these operators. But the main thing that we gotta look out for right now is that there isn't a single player watching the A site. In fact, they're watching it coming in from sites like A-Link, maybe even Rope. They're trying to push past those spots right now, and even though the spike has been planted, can you really hold down these sites? They've done it so far. Can they do it again?
Not unless Alexi has something to say about this. Takes Alyssa down immediately on Dish. Her drop is going to be open. There's the guiding light as well. Going to blind Yoki, but she's going to take Shirazi down. She's going to take Capricious down as well, but Japips is there for the trade. 2v3 right now. Aricat and Aresta are still at the advantage. There's the stun coming out as well, but there's the snake bite. Discouraging the defuse. Okay, defuse starts. There's the snake bite yet again with the slow as well. It's getting really hard to defuse the spike, and I don't think they have time for this. They take Rosie down, they take Noxy down, but they don't have the time anymore, and TC Arise have to fall back.
Oh my gosh, and along with falling back, they actually committed into this quite a lot. So because Rudy's made it away alive, it's going to be a nano leave clutch for Aricat Aresta. Just doing such a damn good job at playing the time, kind of baiting shots here and there, buying as much time as possible, that TC Rise actually lost their operator in that round. That's a 4,700 credit weapon, so it's a bit of a loss for them. In fact, so bad that they kind of need to call a timeout and really figure out, how are they losing these sites? I mean, A is kind of difficult to push past, as long as the defenders are locking down places like A main and drop. But they're just able to walk in. Drop is difficult to push out of if you got players just hiding on site.
Yeah, I don't understand how they're losing the site so easily as well. I think that's what we're trying to figure out right now. For the side of TC Arise, they do have enough for a full buy still, because 2 of them can buy for their teammates, the ones that survived just now. They can still mount a defense against Aricat Aresta. It's still pretty close game, I would say. And it looks like, for now, that Aricat Aresta's won rounds is because of great utility usage, the ultimates. But that's also because Yoki and Alyssa have been getting kills. Like,
Yes.
I have to point that out. They're getting the kills, that's why their ultimates are up. And 3 of the rounds that they won were off of 2 Rolling Thunders and 1 lockdown.
I think it's really lovely to see that Aricat Aresta has this double Sentinel setup, and not to mention Yoki as an initiator just doing such a great job at flushing people out of position with her fault line, with the Aftershock, and Rosie as well to boot, because the snake bite is even better. So right now they are being careful. Arise wants to take the fight to them. Capricious trying to watch A main, but she has to be a little bit extra careful. She's positioned up in Hall right now. If she gets caught out, they lose 1 player, they could lose the A site. So, I mean, they're trying everything that they've got to defend. You got the toxic screen just watching, I mean, blocking out B main, but it's a short one. You know, tunnel isn't really blocked out, nothing else as well. So they could actually just make another crazy push. But right now, hearing these footsteps, they're trying to lock them in. The lockdown has been deployed, and then Ali is going to be the kingmaker right now, going back and forth, getting a quick triple. Shirazi will fall, but Ali is still alive. She could put an end to all of this. Saw the tracers coming out of Rosie's Vandal, and now she's just lying in wait. In fact, though, Rosie knows that she's up in tower. Is she gonna piece this? I hope not.
There's a stun coming out onto Rosie as well, so they know where she is. And she has to play this 1v3. She still has to spike though. No. Gets a little bit of a tag. Ali is still in tower though. Gets, whiffs a little bit, but finally gets a 4K. Taking Rosie down, who was looking away. Ali just stayed in the tower for that whole round for that 4K.
So patient. And that is just the fact that they are playing it careful. TC Arise. Look at these girls. Ali with the lockdown. So much value. And then just knowing that she's got 2 more teammates to help her out. I don't have to peek anything. I just wait. I'm just gonna wait. So 5-4 right now. Could this be another really close game like we saw in Icebox?
Could be. I expected more from TC Rise because it seems like they were the ones who wanted to get into this map. But Aricat Aresta are showing that they're actually ready for this.
It's a little bit difficult for them right now, I think, when it comes to defending sites. They might just need to play retakes a little bit more, because every time, if they lose players like Shirazi, they lose players like maybe even Ali, the sites are very easily overrun by Aricat Aresta. So they need to be extra careful about this. Capricious is the one who can afford to play aggressively, and that's what she does around Hall. Now she gets the opening pick, instantly dashing away. It just comes down to a player reading the game. But oh no, Japips getting caught out in position with the wall bang. Capricious, they know that they're coming in for the push, so she should be ready for this. There's the burst. Noxie going to answer back with the burst of her own, but Capricious with a headshot. A triple kill as well. We're bringing it back to 5-5.
This is actually a really close game. That timeout helped them quite a bit. I think they retool their defenses a bit. This is a great play by Capricious. Like, pushing forward means that you can get a little bit more information. Even better that they got to kill Japips. Unfortunate. Hiding in the box there, gets shot through, but Capricious is really the one to watch out for here. Gets a triple kill. This headshot onto Noxie, even with 30 health remaining, really shows how good she is.
This is the perfect setup. I don't want TC Arise to touch this at all. Alexi is good on Dish. Capricious is good on Hall or A main, as long as she's supported by Japips. But where's Japips headed to right now? They hear footsteps in towards B, so they're moving in. But Noxie has her Blade Storm up, which could be really, really deadly. But oh, as soon as she peeks out, Shirazi is already prepared for that. Phantom Sprays comes in, and she picks up a quick double. That means that Arcade has been completely nullified. The only push that Aricat Aresta has got going for them right now is coming in from Tree, coming in from B main. Is it going to be good enough? I don't know. You've got Rudy's coming in around Tunnel, maybe trying to pull off some magic, but nobody's pushing in yet. The Sheriffs are good for one, and Yoki will be able to retreat and recover some of her health.
Yeah, they can pick up the guns though, even though they got those kills, that one kill with the Sheriff. That's not an upgrade for them. So it's going to be really difficult because they've already used their utility onto the B site. They're trying to go to A right now, but Capricious has been at this angle since the start of the round, and she's just staying there. And they might just run into her, and she's really lethal with the Vandal. But Alyssa just wide swings her straight to the head with that Sheriff, and down Capricious goes. There's a Rolling Thunder being committed as well. Aricat Aresta want to take this round. They're going to go for the wall as well as the spike plant. They do have one Vandal as well, but Alyssa with that headshot, ever so lethal. There's a lockdown being committed as well. They really want to win this round. They're committing everything they have.
Everything. They've got one Vandal, two Sheriffs. They gotta watch these angles. So right now, 3 versus 3 situation. It's possible that TC Arise takes them down, but because Alyssa is holding this, they make it that much more difficult. Ali goes in though, and there is the trade. Do they know that they're watching in from A main? Maybe, but it's gonna be a double peek. The flash was good to buy a little bit of time, but no! Shirazi just pushes in, swaps to her classic, and there's another classic kill. They managed to take this round back and Arise.
She just swung out with a classic.
Costly. Just goes right in. Just goes right in.
Round before the switch.
Wait, I did not expect that. I mean, okay, first off, Aricat Aresta were on eco, so they still got 3 members off. But TC Arise brought it back even after losing so many members. But like you mentioned, it was a bit costly, but it's going to be the last round. And Ali, TC Arise will have full buy still.
Capricious with an operator. I don't like that. How are you going to push into Hall now? Unless you double peek or use Yoki with her fault line. So economy is something that you got to think about, but you know what? The pushes are really, really good, and I think it's just Arise starting to get a great read and a good lead in terms of momentum. Remember what happened on Breeze. Remember what Jace or Jaeger said. TC Arise, once they get going for good, and it's very difficult for Aricat Aresta to come back after that fact. So, I mean, Shirazi, yeah, she went in with the classic. I think it's just great game sense. She knew that they were on Sheriffs, and Sheriffs at close range, unless you got that sharp of a flick, no way you landed up close. You go in wide peak, it's very difficult for you to flick on towards a headshot like that. So right now, I mean, what can Aricat Aresta possibly do to take away this last round of the first half?
I think they just need a more decisive push. A does not look good for them, and they are choosing the right site right now. It looks like they're going to rush into this B site. Instead, the Viper's Pit has been committed onto B main, but the rest of the attackers are actually going through Arcade.
I'm very afraid of Ali's position. Arcade is good, Tower is even better. It makes it 2 separate angles, or at least micro flicks that Arise have to look out for. Now they're trying to peek together. Not even necessary. They've evacuated the site because Shirazi has her judge. Counter Viper's Pit though, so you've got domain versus domain. And right now, with Rosie falling, it's all that much more difficult. The Killjoy lockdown comes in. Not to mention, Capricious still has her operator and a Blade Storm to work with as well. They're just streaming into site. It's not even necessary. Every single player getting eliminated. TC Arise are going in with a 7-5 at the end of the first half. They picked this side for a reason, and that is why. It's a secret left Wallace.
Yeah, it's TCRI is really finding their stride. They strung what, 4-5 rounds in a row here, and it's starting to look really good for them. The timeout didn't really do much for Aricat Aresta. They did get into the site, but their post plan just wasn't set up yet. Yeah, 4 rounds in a row for TCRIs, and they brought this back from a 5-3 into a 7-5 lead.
I don't want to count out Aricat though. Okay, they've got Rudy's, they've got a Sage, which can be really, really effective for just locking out one section of the map. You got 4 sections, and locking off one, it's pretty good. You only got to worry about 3 after that. And you know, one thing we kind of haven't really talked about yet is the fact that this map has 4 ultimate orbs.
Yep.
We don't really see them going for that though. It's really difficult unless you have control over that section of the map. But here we go. Wall up, you don't have to worry about Arcade that much anymore, but of course they're going to make quite a bit of noise, so you get some intel, but at the same time this toxic screen should be telling that there is a push coming in from B-man as well. So both sides getting attacked. How does Aricat Aresta respond to this? You've got the rotations coming in effectively, at the same time Alyssa trying to stay alive as much as possible. She doesn't hear Capricious coming from the back, eats a headshot to the face, and right now it's going to be a full-on retakes game. The spike will be going down pretty soon, and Yoki trying to make use of her crosshair. Unfortunately, Arise are not giving it to them. And Ali's just playing, toying with them from tunnel, using this wall that was Rudy's to begin with. The classic will be good to take Capricious down, but she's still locked in this duel where Ali just goes in for that quick run and gun. Last player alive is going to be Rosie. She's running out of time. She needs to find the duels, but at long range, she's not going to get it. The counter Viper with the ghost takes her out of all things. Arise are coming into this. They've got their momentum. And I don't know how Aricat are going to come back from this. They got the pistol round, Eco broke in.
That was unlucky. Ali was actually, was it Alyssa? Yes, Alyssa was actually looking outside the wall, and then it turns out an Ali just creeps right behind her.
Oh my gosh.
And they're playing the same agent too, Ali and Alyssa.
Killjoy, Viper. You see a little bit of a pattern. The difference, though, is the fact that Aricat Aresta has a Sage, but unfortunately, your wall is only that good. You need slow orbs to aid that as well, because slow orbs are the things that really slow it down, and they last for a good 5 to 7 seconds. A wall, once it's shot down, that is it. So right now, they're going in it, and they're going in hard. Unfortunately, though, Rudy's and Alyssa are putting a stop to this with their classics of all things. All that's left are 2 players, but the spike has been planted, and Shirazi is trying to pull off some post-plant shenanigans. Rosie and Rudy's approaching from the same side. Are they going to be the sisters in arms? They're trying to find whatever weaponry that they can get to give them the extra support, but it's still incredibly labored. Tower is incredibly hard to push into. You don't have flashes. Going for that jump peek, and Shirazi just goes in for the quick spray and the conversion as well. Triple kill for this girl. 9-5 key.
Yeah, the Poison Cloud, well played there. And I mean, they lost quite a bit there. They lost 3 Spectres, but I think that this is absolutely amazing. They knew that someone was inside trying to defuse. They just sprayed in. She was a bit too low to actually tank any bullets there. So TCRI secured that round, and they seem like they're going to buy. at least for Ali's side, she actually has a Phantom.
Oh my god. Okay. Phantom, perfect. Spectres, still good, as long as they play the right positions. But it comes down to whether or not Aricat Aresta can actually stall and hold them off for as long as possible for the rotations to come in. Noxie getting a little bit too adventurous. She gets shut down by Ali. So now, you know, they see those, they hear those footsteps, they think it's going to be a B hit, but then the rotations come in. I don't know if Aricat Aresta are going to be able to read this. The one thing they've got going for them is the Killjoy utilities being deployed around A main.
Found them. Swarm grenade out.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually open up the site a little bit. The Nanoswarm delays them for a few, but they are still going into the site. 5v4 right now. They're trying to get the spike into the site, but just got it in. The lockdown has been committed as well. The plan is going to go down, and it's going to be a full 4v5 retake here. There's a flash, there's a stun coming out as well. The defenders can't do anything until this lockdown finishes up. Okay, there we go. It's now done. They're actually playing 3 on site.
It's A site. It's really, really good as long as they're holding all these angles. Like I said, drop really, really difficult to clear. You drop down, they can hear, they can see everything, and you're stuck in midair for a good few seconds. So it's easy for them to connect the shot, but somehow Rosie's already underneath. She gets 2, unfortunately gets traded, and there it is. Rudy's trying to clear out main, but what they don't expect is Capricious on the side itself in that one little corner, just going in with that swing. Spectres are good at that range, and of course with that kill, she's able to upgrade it into a Vandal as well. 10-5. And they are not slowing down at all.
Yeah, definitely not. And TC Arise are really showing up. Icebox was so close. Breeze was one-sided on their favor. And now it looks like TC Arise are breaking that. They were up 7-5.5. They won 3 in a row. That was their bonus round.
Oh my god. You lose your bonus round, second half, you're at a 5-round deficit? How do you come back from that? I just... Aricat Aresta need all the support they could possibly get right now. Where are the Thai fans? Probably on the Thai stream. But look at how they're defending B. They've kind of evacuated the side. They're trying to hold it from tree, from B main. But it's so difficult. The weaponry just doesn't give you much courage. They're trying to do something. Yoki will be able to connect. She spots another player out as well up around Arcade, but now they're sandwiched into this one spot. Arise have made, they have set up camp on the B site. All they need is just to lock down these angles. Yoki just walks right past. Oh no, but Lisa falls. Yoki gets another. It's the trades that are happening all over again. Rudy's will not be able to do much.
It's not looking good for Aricat Aresta anymore. It feels like on attack they got away with executes because they still have the ultimates to go into the site. But it looks like on defense, they don't have that solid of a grasp of how to actually defend these sites, because it seems like TC Arise just get their way every single time. They know how to get into the site, and right now Aricat Aresta don't know what to do. Maybe this operator will change things around.
Maybe. Depends on how Noxie watches it. For the past several rounds now, Arise have been pushing in towards B, and that's why she's positioning herself up towards tree to try to lock this down as much as possible. The Trailblazer goes up, so it kind of discourages her from staying in that one spot. Unfortunately, vertical angle as well. She doesn't quite place her crosshair in the right spot, so she whiffs the first one, and with that space being created, Arise is going to capitalize off of this. The Rolling Thunder coming in now, of all times. It clears out the site, but the counter Rolling Thunder from Yoki. They want to put a stop to this. She wants to spray them down, but Capricious takes her away. Rudy's makes it an instant trade, and then the rest comes in. Yoki, she's coming back into the game, and now with all the numbers on the board, Aricat Aresta stake their claim on the B site. But what they don't know is that the rotations are going in towards A. Rosie is on the way to stop this. They might just be in time. But God, 50 seconds remaining. And Ali is trying to pull a sneaky one. Unfortunately gets caught out in position. And all that's left is Japips in towards A main. Of course she's coming in from this one spot. Of course they expect her to be here. She's being extremely cautious about this, trying to jiggle P, trying to be careful. No one's here yet. Trying to go in for the spike plant now. Taps it initially, eats a fault line. She is stunned and dazed, recovers from it. Counter fault line goes out. She peeks out from the one corner that they expect. Rosie with a micro flicks nails her down. And a nice little Zed celebration, but of course this brings TC Arise down. Their momentum has been stopped, and Aricat Aresta are at a 6-11.
Yeah, they finally find a stop on their side. TC Arise, they slow down a bit. With that counter rolling Thunder, that was actually really good to at least buy some time for the team. And Aricat Aresta, they're struggling, but that round stopped them from getting to match point. The operator kind of being put to good use.
Oh, it's not bad, but they're changing things up. Noxy this time headed in towards A halls. Question is though, is Rosie plus Rudy's good enough to defend on B?
Yeah, I mean with a Viper's Pit,
Oh,
potentially
even
so.
better. Okay. What are Arise gonna do? They see this. Capricious maybe into it. Of course, though, now that they have info that the operator is towards A halls, you can see that the plan, is starting to formulate. Maybe a B split of sorts. Maybe if they can find some kind of a flank. That Viper's Pit will just be a pit.
Yeah,
You're gonna stay stuck in there.
she just wants to discourage people from going to the B side from that entrance. They can still go from the other entrance, which seems like from Arcade, Capricious and Ali are actually trying to look for something here, but they're trying to sell a fake because it looks like they actually want to go A.
They still need to take that operator out. Unless they take this out, I don't think going A is the right solution. So now they're trying to pour everything into this, and Alexi will be the one to do it. Operator is gone, and now the spike is getting delivered. Will Alyssa put a stop to this? She hears all of it, and she's trying to use her utility to put a stop, but she can't just peek it just yet because of the toxic screen. But she does have her locked down. Once the spike gets planted, lockdown comes in, full retakes game for Aricat Aresta.
Yeah, that's the Viper's Pit gonna be committed as well for the side of TC Arise. Rosie is gonna kill Dripips. Capricious takes Yoki down.
Oh, there it is. Viper's Spin had gone up, but that lockdown completely neutralizes that.
Yeah, unless she wants to stay inside, it seems like she doesn't have a way out, so she's just gonna stand her ground. Defender Killjoy ultimate does detain one. That's gonna be the Viper stuck there. Her teammates are gonna have to bail her out. They're gonna have to play in the pit, but Rosie is outside, takes Capricious down. And it's all down to Rosie. See if she can actually do anything about this. Ali gets taken down, and Rosie with 2 HP. Oh, got away alive.
Got away alive, plus they get a free operator. Aricat Aresta. With all of these ultimates that they've been collecting, they're starting to build a strong retakes game. And along with that, defusing the spike, you get extra money as well. It's not bad. They could actually come back into this game. I don't know if it's the TIE fence supporting them, but it's working. You got to give them NRG right now. Take NRG. I don't know. They're starting to come alive in this game, but they need to keep it going because 7-11, you got 4 rounds they need to come back from. Of course, you know, the convenience store joke is there, but I'm not going to take it.
I was waiting for that, and I was hoping you weren't going to take it, and I'm glad you didn't. But it looks like TC Arise, they're scrambling right now. That decisiveness that they showed in the previous rounds just isn't there anymore. They're playing a bit scared. They're trying to go for defaults right now, trying to look for these pickoffs, but they're not finding it. The last 2 rounds went Aricat Aresta's way.
Yeah, and you know why? Because Aricat Aresta are making it as inconvenient as possible for TC Arise. Toxic screen blocking up tunnel as well as B main. So the best that they can do, pick up the orb, and then now they're going in towards tunnel. Oh wait, no, sorry. The toxic screen actually blocks off Canteen-ish area. Oh, but they managed to pick up the lockdown, and it's the one in towards tunnel again.
Yeah, they're using the tunnel one just to make
But
sure
then
they
they're
clear
thinking,
B side. Oh,
What the frick?
so they can actually shoot through it, I believe, and I think they had the lineup right now to shoot through the lockdown.
Oh my god, and A side is open! They could get the spike down, but Rosie spots out Alexi. And just like that, 5v5 turned into a 5v3. Spike might go down, but I don't think you can hold it down for much. Noxy's just going to put an end to this. Connects onto 1, and then her teammates come in as well. There is the final connection. And of course, the spike getting defused. It's Aricat Aresta's retakes. You know, the fake might have been maybe a bit much.
Yeah.
Maybe. But there it is, secret led flawless. These girls are starting to come back into the game.
30
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe the spike statistics are, or maybe the map is just still too fresh. We might have thought that this was attacker-sided just because there's so many different parts of the map that you need to watch out for. But if your retakes game are good, if your retakes games are as strong as Aricat Aresta is, it's just, you could just do this time and time again, like repeatedly. Noxy going in, operator, connect a few shots. You got Rosie just lurking around somewhere. It's good. It's good.
Looks like TCRI is 1 to force buy though. That's 3 Spectres and 2 Frenzies on them. Breaks this wall down like it's butter. They're trying to look for more information, but it's gonna be Alyssa this time around on tower. Capricious dashes into sight. Alyssa takes her down. Quick headshot there. And Aricat Aresta are looking pretty good right now, but Japips is going to take her down with a headshot. Shirazi is going to switch guns to the Vandal, starting to look pretty dicey, but are they ready to defend this retake? There's going to be big gun still on the side of Aricat Aresta, but Alexi says, I don't need a big gun, I just need a Spectre. Noxy takes Alexi down with the knives though. 3v3 right now. And they're in pretty good positions for this post plan. They can still just hold the spike. There's a Rolling Thunder being committed as well. She sees Yoki's head. Ali takes one as well. Shirazi finishes Yoki off. And it's starting to look good for TCRI. It's all down to Rudy's right now, who's been stunned up.
Oh my god. She can't use her heal as well because it'll give away her position. So weaving in and out of this toxic screen, she decays a little bit. Wanting to find the duels, but they're just not giving in to her. And now playing off of Japips' contact. They actually come in with this thrifty, Yahoo thrifty win. TCRIs are at match point. They just rushed in. Capricious, dashing in. Maybe she died. It's okay. They know where Alyssa is. They just walk up to the top of tower with a Spectre to burst her down. That worked.
Yeah, just really taking down Alyssa at tower there was the key to winning that round. They got the Vandal. They got it in a power position in tower. They had the Rolling Thunder as well, which bought so much time for them, and that really shows where Breach shines.
Oh my god. Breach is actually maybe a meta pick on this map. They did pick this quite a few times on Spike Nations as well, but I just don't know if it's that effective. You see the counter Breach plays at times, and it's just so good. Viper's pick goes up in towards B main right now to block that out for the time being, but imagine, the fault line goes in, or Seekers, and they just might be able to overrun Rosie. They're chasing her out of her Viper's pit, and she's trying to stay in it. She will be able to burst them down though, and that's 2 players gone. Alexi getting burned away by that snake bite as well. And now it's been discouraged. Japips plus Shirazi, they're backing off. Where else could they go though? And not to mention, Ali is hiding around the top of B-Link bench tunnel area.
Yeah. They had the Viper's Pit. There's four places to go, 4 sides to push here, 2 for each side. And they chose to push in the Viper's Pit. I think it was a gamble, but I think it's still not a smart idea. It's still a very high risk, medium reward, I would say. Move because it's difficult. You have less vision than the Viper, and I think you just get punished every time. I mean, they did come into Seekers for it, but I think pushing forward too far in. Oh, they're actually trying to go in, but Rosie is still in her pit. Oh, she actually gets taken down. They're gonna have to run into the site to plant the spike right now. But they do have that corner where they can hide. They have just enough time to plant the spike. It's 2v4 right now, though, so it's still going to be a difficult hold. But they take one down, and it looks like Shirazi is going to take them down. It's down to 1v1 right now. Shirazi versus Alyssa. Vandal versus Vandal. There's defuse. Actually, a fake there. See, oh, she actually jiggle peeks.
Alyssa
runs into safety. Great moves by Shirazi. Alyssa is going to try to defuse this, and Shirazi, I don't know if she's going to bite. Oh, it's actually going to be a fake. The turret is shooting her. Oh, no, Alyssa gets the headshot and denies the win.
Oh my god, what a play from Alyssa. Shirazi making it close. My heart is fluttering. But Alyssa just stands her ground, puts it down firmly. I've got the spike, I've got my turret to give me info. Even if you rotate around the back, I'm gonna know. And I get off the spike in time to just push into your position. She's that confident, and that inspires confidence in me. The fact that Aricat and Aresta might actually push us into overtime. You can see that TC Arise are off of an eco, maybe somewhat of a force-ish buy right now. Shirazi with a Bulldog, she still has quite a bit of money to go off of. So of course we can expect Aricat and Aresta to win this round, but it's still pretty labored. Rise are actually doing such a good job at pushing into sides. They managed to take Rosie's Viper's Pit down in the previous round.
Yeah, and they've won a rush before. So drop is actually completely open right now. It looks like they're gonna let them into the site first. Yoki is gonna put some damage down onto Shirazi. There's actually a flank coming in from Rosie already. She's not gonna catch anyone just yet, but Capricious dashes away but immediately gets caught. There's the aftershock killing Japips yet again from Yoki.
Oh, be
One enemy remaining.
nice. Clears out the corner. Now they hear where Allie is. She's the lone survivor, and of course they can take her down. Rudy's is there to pick her up. We are going into a 10 and 12. 2 more rounds for overtime, and Aricat and Aresta might just be able to do it. They've got the ultimates built up. They're starting to catch up to Shirazi, who's leading the scoreboard right now. Rosie at a 21 kills, 16 deaths, and Shirazi with 22 and 14 deaths. Not bad at all, but here it comes. The full buy from TC Arise. If they lose this, loss bonus into the next, will they be able to buy on the match point?
They lost 3 rounds in a row. That's plus 2.9k. They
Quick
won't
math,
really
quick
get to
maths.
buy. Ali doesn't get to buy. Alexi can buy light armor plus gun, but no utility.
So not
Capricious
really.
can, yeah, not really.
So it's all or nothing. They
Yeah.
are calling the timeout.
Yeah, good time for a timeout here. Maybe should have been better in the previous round. Oh, 2 rounds ago rather. But
my God.
you know, Aricat Aresta, they're showing that they can make these adjustments. They lost 4 rounds in a row. They made an adjustment to their defense, and then suddenly they won 5 out of the last 6. It's so close to an overtime yet again. But TC Arise, let's see what they can come up with in this timeout.
And that's what we are all about here in the VCT Game Changers Southeast Asia FSL Elite, baby. I mean, you can see like these girls are the cream of the crop of the Southeast Asian region. Even off of a loss, they are not wavering. They're not giving up. They want this win. You saw the interviews, and now they are at the cusp of pushing us in towards overtime. Noxie watching this angle up over by Arcade with her operator. Needs to stay alive, though. I would be remiss if she just pushes up front and loses that, and then Tree gets overrun. I mean,
It's happened before.
yeah. She hears a little
Oh,
something.
she sees
but
the beanie.
Oh
She
my
misses the
God.
shot though. Ali is gonna leaves her turret behind and just jumps away.
Okay. So at the very least, Arise gets a little bit of information.
Swarm grenade.
They were trying to make some plays happen towards A halls, but with all of the utilities and hearing the operator, they're actually, wait, why are they doing this? I'm not really sure, but they're taking the rope silently and trying to pull off some kind of a full 5-woman rush down drop? Is
I
that a
think-
good idea?
I was gonna say that's the only thing they haven't tried so far. So pulling this out
Waterfall?
now is a kind of like big bet. Being able to go in though, they're gonna need to use their flashes effectively. So they've been spotted right now. There's the toxic screen being used. This is exactly what they need to do. So the toxic screen is gonna let them get in. The lockdown as well is going to be committed. So they're definitely gonna be able to get into this site. Just nice. The defender Killjoy lockdown is gonna be committed as well though, but the site still has a pocket where they could hide in. So it's not actually the best ultimate there. There's the Rolling Thunder being committed as well from the defending side.
little
Does
bit
not
early.
stun anyone. There's the Viper's Pit being committed as well. All the ultimates are coming out right now in this crucial round. There's the counter Rolling Thunder from the attackers as well. The wall comes up. They're going to have to stop this defuse. No defuse yet. The poison is going to stop them. Ali is going to take Rudy's down through the smoke. She sees some heads. She's trying to play whack-a-mole here right now. And they're trying to fake this defuse, trying to defend this. Still, Shirazi is going
Not
to take
like
2
this!
down. And I think Aricat Aresta are running out of time. They get taken down, and it looks like TC Arise with all the ultimates take the last round with a flawless victory.
Secret Lab flawless victory, 13-10. They almost came back.
It was so close. It was truly so close. But I'm glad we were able to get into Fracture and see what these teams are prepared for, right? They're ready for this.
And that is what they are prepared for. You see in the very last round, that is kind of a gamble, to be honest, but it works. It's the one thing they haven't tried to waterfall off of a drop, but they have the ultimates to support that.
Yeah.
You know, you have the Rolling Thunder, the Viper's Pit, the lockdown. Even if you have a counter lockdown, we're good, no problem. We're just gonna stay our ground.
Yeah.
Aricat Aresta tried. Yoki's Rolling Thunder, to be honest,
A bit too early, yeah. I
premature.
agree. Yeah.
So that is that story, 13-10. And off of that, that means that Aricat Aresta, I think, are out of this tournament. They placed 7th to 8th, only winning $1,000 US. The rest of the prize pool is still up for grabs. And of course, TC Arise, this team that we don't really know that much about. We don't really expect them. They qualified through FSL overtime. They are showing us that they are actually so darn capable.
Yep. I mean, we've seen their strats. They have set strategies. On Breeze, they were a force to be reckoned with as well. So I think that this is going to be an interesting team to be the dark horse of this tournament.
And that's right. So if you want to find out more about what goes on behind TC Arise's calls, what make them want to go for that full 5-man push off of a drop, you're going to have to stay after this break because we've got the winner's interview. But also, I don't know if you've been keeping an eye out for this, guys, on Twitch. We've got, well, not just Twitch, YouTube as well, but like you've got that Secret Lab giveaway. The QR code is on the screen. Scan it. You got that little secret code that I think we flash 2 different ones every series, every day. And if you key in the right code, if you are lucky, you might stand a chance at winning one of these.
Yeah, and each code gives you 1 extra chance, so don't forget. It's not the same
Extra
code.
chance.
Yeah, it's an
Ooh.
extra chance. So if you stay tuned and see the QR code and scan it every time, you get more chances to win.
And not to mention other sponsors as well, Yahoo as well as Intel, and not to mention Nanoleaf. We've got that right behind us. It's so cool, guys. The promotional code, discount code, is somewhere with the commands, I think !Nanoleaf or something like that. So we're going to go for a quick break, but after this, giveaways as well as the winner's interview. Don't go away. We will be back after this, and also another bigger game, Nigma Galaxy versus Mad Army.
2v2 right now. Alexi, good for the headshot. And Alyssa tries to put another cheeky wall down, but there's an angle for Alexi to shoot her. He's trying to go for the defuse. Recon ball coming out. Oh, does she expect this? Oh no, both are actually peeking her. And Alyssa down. There's no one actually. There's still nobody on the flank. And there's the rest coming out for Capricious as well. Japips takes knock.
Down was a big win. Unfortunately, she gets taken out this time, and all that's left is Shirazi has to plant the spike. And Alyssa should know where she is, but she's trying to be very cautious about this. They're even using the shock dart and expecting
Just gonna take control of it for free. Hunter's Fury getting committed, tags Alyssa a little bit, takes her down, and Yogi gets taken.
She should hear the footsteps as well, and she knows that the shock darts lineups would have been coming from that spot. So she manages to get away.
Oh, she gets
spots her
released.
out. Triple. That's the worst thing in the world for Noxie, but she can isolate the duels. She gets into 1v1. Now all she needs is Shirazi's head. Shirazi picked up a Phantom as well, though. But she has the Tailwind, doesn't even need it, spots her out, and there it is. Maybe not Sunday, so why not let's try to make something work with this. Still, though, walking past the toxic screen is going to be very, very difficult. Shirazi is in the best possible spot. She gets all the bits of information, takes 3 down. Sweet, crisp tap to put an end to this. And Japips knows that. She's going to stay hidden, trying to get it to halfway. One more shot. Oh, no! On top of screens, taking down 2 players. Now it's up to Noxie as well as Rudy's to get the spike down. What a flick! The headshot is good. Now she gets, Ali kind of square in the head, but thankfully Ali sidestepped back towards Rafters. Gets information as well. She knows where they are. Just needs to get the duels. Sneaking her up around the side.
She has to make a sound, though.
Find them. They spot her out, and Noxie gets the flick with 3 HP remaining. She doesn't know still that Alexi's behind her. Now she knows. Gets the classic. This really could be their map. I mean, I'm hyping this up, but just wait and see. The guiding light is perfect. Catches 2 people square in the face. Is watching this like a hawk. You got Sniper Overwatch looking over you. No way you make it past this. Rudy's trying to put a stop to it. Still will be able to take 1 player down with a Spectre. Swaps over to the Phantom. If she finds the headshots, and without these favorable duels, they're just not going to be able to get it. In fact, it's going to be Shirazi who tunnel. And she will be able to find Ali. Hearing the shots fired, she goes in and gets a quick double.
Oh, they're back at 1 member disadvantage right now. Shirazi takes Alyssa down as well. Takes Rosie down too. How can they stop this? Oh, Shirazi gets...
Noxie trying to block off at least one of them to push up closer, but they didn't expect Shirazi to be coming up.
This is what you can do against the Viper's Pit, just go behind it. But Alexi is going to take 2 members of Aricat Aresta down with headshots, and Shirazi is going to kill the members running.
The steps they want, they're trying to lock them in. The lockdown has been deployed, and then Ali is going to be... Going for that jump peek, and Shirazi just goes in for the quick spray, and the stuck in midair for a good few seconds, so it's easy for them to connect the shot, but somehow Rosie's already underneath. She gets 2, unfortunately gets traded, and there it is. Rudy's trying to clear out main, but what they don't expect is
She sees from some heads, she's trying to play whack-a-mole here right now. And they're trying to fake this defuse, trying to defend this still. Shirazi is going to take 2 down, and I think Aricat Aresta are running out of time. They get taken down, and it looks like...
two, one.
Your interview after their 2-1 comeback victory over Aricat Aresta. It looks like we've also got most of the rest of the team hovering around in the background as well. So just congrats to the entire team for winning today's games. I'm sure emotions were definitely running high, especially after dropping that map number 1. So I've got to ask, how are you feeling right now?
We're fine. We're happy, you know, of the results of the game. We did not expect the outcome of our game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a huge surprise to everyone back home as well, especially that map number 3 that we were all very excited to see. I think competitively worldwide, like we're the first league to actually see Fracture being played in a competitive league. So I wanted to ask coming into that, like, what were the types of preparations that the team did for Fracture? I know the way the bans worked out was that for map 3, it was down to Ascent and Fracture, and Ascent was banned instead. So just tell me why you guys chose to go for that Fracture map.
Actually, we don't have any strats in Fracture or any mappings on that map. We just trust our aim, you know. We just trust ourselves and the aim, you know.
I mean, it looked like you girls definitely had some form of practice on the map because Fracture is very tricky in that, especially when you lay a lot of utility down, there are some very, those line of sights and the lineups, like those have to be practiced. And we saw, like, for you girls, like your crosshair placement was really on point, like really right on the hits, like even though the rest of the body was like blocked on the various parts of the map. So I wanted to ask just how much practice did your team have before this on Fracture?
There's no practice. We just base on competitive plays, you know, the lineups in competitive or ranked games. That's why we chose that agents.
So we saw in map number 2 as well that your team had such a dominating win on Breeze, and generally, not just in FSL, but in a lot of the other leagues as well, we don't usually see a lot of teams opt to play like wide open maps such as Breeze, such as Fracture, especially when they're new. So I wanted to ask, is this maybe something that your team feels very confident in and just going for that 1v1, just winning based off of mechanics and skill?
Yeah, we just, you know, we need to practice our technical skills so that we pick the breeze.
So I also wanted to chat with you about the very last map at the crucial point when the team was 12 versus 10 in terms of rounds, and then you girls called the timeout and the pause at that point, and then right after the pause, like you girls came back strong, you girls all used your ultimates, and then you managed to secure that final round to bag the series win. So I wanted to ask what type of communication happened during those timeouts, and just what is the sort of way that the team opts to use those timeouts so that, like, once the match starts again, like you girls just come bursting out of the gate? How does that work?
We used the timeout to get strats in the last round of the 12-10 score. We also base on the enemy's ultis, skills, and position, you know. That's why we finish off cleared.
All right, so my last question that I wanted to ask, kind of a bit of a two-parter. For the team, of course, today's best of 3 series was very crucial because whichever team loses will get dropped out of the entire competition. Whereas since you girls managed to get the win, you'll be moving forward next week in the next round of the lower bracket. So I wanted to ask if the team was very nervous coming into today's best of 3 series, maybe how you coped, and then also looking forward to next week, how far is the team looking to go in this FSL Elite?
All of us are nervous and we are looking forward to rematch again with Celeste because we know that we will come back stronger with them.
All right, Alexi. Well, thank you so much for the interview, and once again, a huge congratulations to TC Arise for winning today's Best of 3 series. Guys, we're going to invite on Jace as well as Zaya for the Desk Analyst panel before we move on to our next Best of 3. But thank you, Alexi.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, we've got here on the desk to bring you the action for the remainder 2 Best of 3 series for today. We've got the amazing, the talented, the beautiful, the handsome Jace and Zaya. Guys, how are we feeling today?
I'm super excited. Yeah, the Enigma Galaxy female team versus Mad Army. These two, we've been waiting to see these girls play against each other for a little while now, and I mean, yesterday they played absolutely stellar. They were so dominant, and I think that it's going to be an amazing best of 3 series here.
Definitely, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a close fight because we had ourselves some treat from the previous matches, but right now it's going to be another roller coaster ride.
Yeah, for sure. Talking about roller coaster, I mean,